As immigration raids live streamed with Dr. Phil commence through major U.S. cities, some people have criticized A&E for profiting off the situation with their controversial new show, Steven Seagal, Iceman, a series that will feature musician and actor Steven Seagal teaching ICE officials the necessary Aikido and reggae to get the job done.
When asked if he felt the show was in poor taste, Seagal responded by saying, "I know what you're thinking. No one's ever mixed ICE raids with this much raw, unadulterated sex appeal before." To which the reporter responded, "Steven, can you please speak up a bit? You're whispering in a very gravelly tone that is difficult to hear."
Inside sources say the controversial project was almost scrapped at its inception when Steven Seagal responded to the offer by saying, "You know I don't do that anymore." But after being offered $1,800 an episode, he looked in the mirror dramatically before proclaiming, "I'd squish Dr. Phil like a bug," and then asking for help changing out of his lounging moo-moo into his action moo-moo.
A&E did not, however, budge on his further demands for him to personally fly the aircrafts out of the country, write the soundtrack for the show, kick the shit out of Dr. Phil live on air, speak with a Colombian accent, have an intense love story with a beautiful undocumented woman in her 20s, or have a black rapper co-star.
Thank you to everyone who came out Edmonton last weekend. Sold out all the shows. Was a banger and a half. And we got Phoenix coming up and Valentine's. So if you got a date, Valentine's Day, come out to Phoenix. Valentine's.
Stuff for you.
Day.
You got a lot of heat
Phoenix.
On that one.
What a date. Good. It'll be a fun show to bring a date to. Valentine's Day. Then Vancouver and Portland, me NDP.
Yeah.
Tacoma, Los Angeles, Irvine, San Jose, Tampa Bay, Salt Lake City, Denver, Atlanta, Baltimore, San Diego, Appleton, RyanLongComedy.com. Grab those tickets while you still can.
Yeah, and catch me Vancouver, Edmonton, April, and May, and go follow the Low Value Mail YouTube page. Let's do it. DannyComedy.com.
The boys.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The lads.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST.
The bros.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The homies.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Experience the BOYSCAST.
The boys. Cast.
The BOYSCAST is here, your favorite podcast, first
Yes,
podcast
sir.
exclusively for the boys. The White House correspondents here, Ryan Long, Danny Polishuk.
BOYSCAST.
So what happened, basically?
Basically, they announced yesterday the new head of the new press secretary is like, we're opening up the press room for like alternative media podcasts.
Which I guess is fair. Some of these news podcasts, like you think about like Sagar and whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously,
they're bigger than, you know.
Yeah, and Trump basically said, like, this is the shit that got me elected, was like going on all these podcasts and stuff. So it's not even that crazy. But so they just have a link and you can just apply.
Hey, I'm John Samsondar from the sucking hour.
I mean, literally, it'll be like that. A lot of that. I don't know how they're gonna.
I mean, more people fucking watch the cum zone than
probably. Yeah, the cum zone's very popular.
More people watch that than watch, you know, the whatever
Some
news
of,
stations has
Mediaite.
ONN.
Yeah, Mediaite or whatever. So, anyways, they just it was like you didn't have to put in any information. Like they just wanted your Twitter handle, basically.
That'd be amazing if you got a press
Oh,
thing.
if I get it, I'm gonna be.
Hi, Danny Polishuk here for the BOYSCAST. My dick's too big for magnums. Are you thinking about doing anything for that?
Yeah, how will you be addressing that?
There's been an epidemic of women walking funny in my neighborhood after I smashed them. Is it possible that we could get some ramps, cushions on the seats and the benches?
Oh man, I hope I just get. I just want one day. I don't want to have to be go to DC all the time. But
Danny Polishuk here. I'm just wondering if you're going to make laws about getting yo dick sucked. Because if you are, then you're going to have to fucking arrest me and lock up the key.
I mean, a lot of people have been falsely being like, "Oh, you know, this is empires only last 250 years on average, and we're at like 240."
Heard a lot of talk about the 250 years.
And we're at 249 right now. If I get a fucking White House press pass. It's not looking. Things aren't looking good.
You definitely have to show up in the yarmulke. You know what I mean?
For
Make
sure.
a statement.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna dress real nice. I'm showing up in a tux. You count me. Mark my words. I'm showing up in a full tuxedo.
Sure.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious. Though I'd definitely be down to scroll down there with you.
Hell yeah, dude. That'd be fun.
Also, with the 250 years thing, because everyone's been saying the empire's dying in 250 years, but it was sort of the point that, remember when we had to reiterate our point we were making about how old Joe Biden is? Other people were also making that when they're saying, yes, but when you're 80, the probability of you live to 81 is actually, not that low.
Yeah. It's probably like
so because you've already made it to 250.
10% chance of dying.
Some people are saying the 250 thing is not,
No. No, it's not a hard and fast
Things
rule.
do move fast. I'll tell you though, I've been, and we'll talk
Trump's been
about.
president for 9 days.
Dude, we can talk about the deepfake thing a little later in the thing, but I swear,
Deepseek.
Deepseek.
Yeah.
Deep fucking seek value.
I'm the deepfake guy.
Deepseek value.
Yeah.
Deepseek. Not to be confused with Deepseek, which is just a Sikh guy with a big cock.
The guy who delivered our Uber Eats earlier.
Yeah.
Not him.
No, but when I'm listening to this stuff, I go, it is interesting to think where you go, the world, the amount of time that like humans have been, kicking around, which has been what, 2024 years. Before that, there was nothing.
There was nothing. Yeah.
And then
zero anything.
Yeah, but
No dinosaurs.
We do live in the only kind of time where everything has changed 3 times in your lifetime.
Oh yeah.
That's
I mean, we're
sort of a weird deal that
you
our
and I
generation
are of
have.
a pretty specific cohort where we we had a taste of the analog world.
Yeah.
Taste
of the analog world, and then that's going away.
Yeah.
I mean, we started without internet, and we're ending our life in a pod.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I actually have
Sort
been
of a weird deal where you have to be 40, like in your 40s and 60s, you have to be like, most people could just kind of like compound interest is the most important thing. Whereas
Sure.
most people, they go, I figured out how to do this thing, and then it's,
And I get better at it.
As opposed to the new 20-year-old comes in and just kicks your ass at something that you became
not
an expert
even
at.
20-year-old. Like I was actually kind of on the. I was saying like I was on the fence about the AI stuff. Now I'm like actually full doomer mode on this.
You're just like, slow it down. I hear the people
they're
talking about
kids.
it, and they're like, do you not hear the Chinese, the chips, and the. I
mean,
can't
there's
even.
a lot of,
I don't even know it enough to do the jargon to make fun of it.
Yeah. There is a lot of like with the Chinese Deepseek
We're
stuff.
Chinese now.
Yeah, but like it already updated. It basically wrote its own code and gave itself an update or whatever
There
to
you go.
make it faster. But like, dude, there's so many people who are in college right
How long
now.
till we're Chinese? How does that work?
5 years.
Do we have 5 years before we're Chinese?
Tops. Ni hao.
They make it you download this program, all of a sudden knocks
I'm not
the
even
spoon out
worried
of your
about
hand and
the-
you have to use sticks to eat stuff.
I'm not
I have to eat pizza with 2 fucking sticks now.
It's not so bad. I'm actually not even worried about the Chinese stuff. But the AI stuff is like, dude, there's so many people who are in school right now to be an accountant.
Good.
Like that is literally going to be an obsolete job.
That's what they should play at the when they do their graduation. It's just like nah. Did you guys enjoy your courses in
There
accounting?
will be no refunds.
Yeah, that's the last amount. That's the last time you'll ever do accounting. You finish your accounting
much.
exam, and they go, "I hope you enjoy that because you'll never do any accounting
you're
ever again."
Obsolete completely, dude. Like most, because that's the thing is, when we were younger.
I was a horse and buggy repairman.
But when we were younger, the whole deal was you're like, oh, you don't want to be a trade, like your income's capped, and you want to go to college and you can make more money. And now it's just like, yeah, the trades are going to kill everybody.
guy cleaning the toilet's the only guy going to have.
I mean, if you're a plumber or an electrician, like AI's not fucking with your shit. Whereas, like, if you're some blue or white collar worker, like
your two
odds
options are literally prostitute or
Yep.
plumber.
I mean, but the prostitute is even, unless you're like an in-person prostitute, if you're an e-prostitute, you're like, that's going too. AI's taking that job too.
I think that if you're willing to, bang dudes, I think you can always make money doing that.
Yeah, obviously in person. Yeah.
It's the oldest profession, and it's also going to be the newest profession.
I know. That'll never go away.
Well,
But,
yeah, I guess already we brought it up. So basically, to me, it was like reading Chinese. I didn't know what was going on here. All I know is that
it was a bit on my pay grade. Essentially, there's all the AI like the GPTs or whatever, and then this Chinese company, which is actually a lie, but they came out. They go, we made this.
That's what
we made
Tommy
this.
Lucky said that.
We made this Deepseek model. It cost us $5 million, and it's basically as good as OpenAI that cost like $500 billion or whatever.
Yes.
And then, but it's a lie. It is as
That's
good.
what Palmer Lucky says.
Yeah.
Screenshotted one of his things today.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, like
Deepseek is legitimately impressive, but the level of hysteria is an indictment on so many. The $5 million number is bogus. It is pushed by Chinese hedge fund to slow investment in America AI startups, service their own shorts against American titans, and also basically he also said that our media hates tech so much that our media will
We'll
take it all hook, line, and
eat
sinker.
that slop
So when
up,
America's like, oh, American big tech companies are getting crushed by China, like all the media companies are just like, oh, I get to write articles about how
tech is dead.
Yeah,
good. Tech bros fucking dead.
Ha! Yeah, they get to write how tech pros are
Yeah,
bad.
but they got around it because China has like some sort of embargo. They're not allowed to buy like NVIDIA chips, or they're like very limited how many they can buy. So that's why
And they need the chips.
Because if they said we spend $1 billion, you'd be admitting that you basically broke this trade agreement or whatever, like embargo thing. But then apparently Singapore buys like 20% of all NVIDIA chips, which just like doesn't make sense. And the reason is because they all go to get filtered to China.
Right over there.
So, I mean, again, nobody thought. But the thing is with Deepseek is it's open source. Whereas, Elon's like, it's closed AI. He calls it, even though it's open AI, it's actually closed AI. It's not open source.
Yeah, the billionaires have been gossiping about each other, eh?
Deepseek is open source.
It is pretty funny when you're just like, we mentioned the one where the Elon Musk was talking about Sam Altman. He's like, he doesn't even have the money. And then, but it is funny watching them like on Twitter, like gossiping about each other. Like, he's a fucking...
Hey man,
they're
office politics.
Yeah, but they're literally doing the billionaire version of like, that guy,
he doesn't have $500 million.
His wife's fat.
What a loser! He doesn't have 500.
He doesn't even have It really is like, oh my god, you hear that guy doesn't even have $500 billion to spare.
Pathetic.
He is pathetic. He doesn't even have $500 billion to spare. Trump's getting hit because the eggs are low or the eggs are too high.
Yeah, but that's more from the avian flu. That's not because of
avian flu. And obviously he's been president for a fucking day and a half. But
it feels like 9 years already.
I'll tell you. Yeah, it has a lot happened. But the egg thing is real.
Yeah.
Dude, in my neighborhood, 2 different places, no eggs. A lot of the places you order food from, no eggs. If you want eggs, you literally have to track down a single mother, follow her home in a balaclava, and then go into her house, steal the eggs. Yeah, you go, this is my eggs now, bitch.
I go to Trader Joe's. They got plenty of
They
eggs.
don't anymore.
Like in the last week?
Yeah,
I bought eggs a week ago.
Yeah, that's... Well, I hope you enjoyed it.
I didn't know I was meant to be rationing eggs this whole time.
Exactly. You didn't even know how good you've got it. You didn't realize that those are your last fucking 12 eggs. You're probably, hardballing them, throwing
Yeah, I just been egging the neighbors.
Using them to egg stuff. No, the egg thing has been real.
That's like the Chris Rock joke, where it's like they don't need gun control, they need bullet control. Like now if you fucking egg someone's house, it's like what'd they do?
Yeah.
Really deserved it, huh? That was a fucking $100 hit job right there.
If you get egged right now, you know this guy had business. You fucked this guy's wife.
Yeah, big time. You fucked up.
Yeah, so the egg shortage has been real in my neighborhood.
Okay.
And another thing on the topic of, RFK has been getting just shredded on the...
As we speak, he's getting...
It is funny when they have to do the hearings and they just have to, just like sit there and take a shellacking.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
everyone has to act so indignant. They all have to...
They have charts printed off and stuff. They have like all this like multimedia.
You know what it really is? It's the equivalent of like you start dating a girl, and then her entire family, like her dad, her brother, her uncle, sit you down in a room and then be like, so you said you want, what about this girl that you fucked in high school? And then you never dated her. So what was that all about?
So he's got some demons,
so you tweeted in 2005 that getting married is for chumps. So are you just planning on stringing her along? Like, what are you even doing here?
Sure. I mean, but RFK Jr. kind of proves that, like, even if you used to be a heroin addict and a sex addict and all this stuff, and then you're also a Kennedy, you can kind of just do whatever you want.
If you're doing it for a Kennedy.
The Kennedy.
Right. But I think what he should do is when he gets the job, I think that it would be so. You know how they have smoking packet? Like when you buy cigarettes, they have big labels on them, right? That say, picture of lungs and warnings.
In Canada, they have that.
But they still have warnings in America?
They have warnings in America, yeah.
They just don't have the pictures. But I think it would be good for restaurants to. Right now they have a rule that if you have 250 locations, like a McDonald's, or something like that,
calories.
You have to put the calories. They should have to put like a warning on. Like they should put a warning on where you're eating, like, hey, just so you know, this is your entire calories for the day.
Sure.
There should be like a warning on foods.
Yeah, I mean,
dude, so how many times
I'm kind of black-pilled on this whole thing because, RFK's like, I want people to eat healthier. I'm like, this is America. They don't want to. I hate to break it to you. You're not forcing people to eat healthy.
Well, you're not forcing people, but what you can do is, I was kind of thinking this in terms of like stuff in my life where, like I'm in that chat group right now with you where people talk about stocks and finance and stuff like that. And then I have other chat groups like about comedy and stuff like that. And what you want when you're eating healthy, it's like I go on the road with like JJ and Eric, and JJ's very like healthy. So it's just like around me.
Yeah, you want people to,
So the more that it's like around in the culture where you go to this place, like there's certain times you'll eat something and it'll be like, yo, this is 2,700 calories. And kind of, but I'm dumb with that shit.
I mean, that's like the Dunkin' Donuts.
I'll just be
thing
like,
where,
wait, what?
Like Dunkin' has like a drink that's like 1,500 calories.
yes, you don't even think about it, right?
How's that even possible?
But I think if it was all like in the atmosphere, you would start thinking about it.
Yeah.
So I think he can do that.
Yeah, he can
He's
maybe
not going
do
to get the fucking, what's her name? This girl. Too fat to fit in a lift.
No. Not too fat to fit in a forklift.
Actually, Johnny. So this woman's suing. This woman's a big woman, right?
Yeah.
She's suing Lyft because she got in. I'll just read some of the stuff before, and then we'll watch this video. But basically, it says, incident happened earlier this month. Name is Dank DeMoss. She's suing.
Rapper.
She's a rapper, but I looked at her profile. She got like 400 views. So this is her big get rich quick scheme, right? Yeah. She's suing the companies. She's also, Danny said she can fit in a forklift. Well, I'll say she's suing the company. She's also suing the jeans company, the door company, the bed company, the airplane scene company. And she goes, but the funny part is she has this Uber driver. The incident happened earlier this month when Blanding requested a ride to Detroit Lions watch party. However, upon arriving, the driver told her he wouldn't give her a ride. So I hope the driver
I'd like to
was
know
an
what
Indian
the car
dude.
was.
I'd like to know the race of the driver.
I'd like to know the race of the driver, but I'd like to know the car. The model.
It says here, I got it for you.
Do we know?
Yeah. It was a Miata, I think.
Miata. That's a small car.
No, sedan.
Oh, it was a sedan. Oh, okay.
Driver claimed she wouldn't fit in the sedan when she insisted otherwise. The driver replied, "Believe me, you can't." This is where I'm picturing an Indian guy saying, "Please, Mrs. Please, please, Mrs. Dash, please, I'm begging you, please, please, please. Oh, please, 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 cancel, Mrs. Dash, please, please, please."
Yeah.
Just puts the
Like
pistol on
you
his
should have
mouth.
had an Uber XL.
No. He said it would be the tires couldn't handle
The
it.
tires couldn't handle it. I mean,
All right, let's see what Mrs. Dash is up to here.
Landing tells us she was just trying to get to a Detroit Lions watch party this month when her Lyft rolled up.
As I'm walking, I see him like making faces or whatever. I'm like, oh man.
She already knew.
I can fit in this car.
Believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe me.
He told
Sounds
her
Southern.
there's
Oh,
not
it's a
enough
white
room
guy.
in his car.
The kicker part was when he started to talk about his tires. I feel like that was a slap in the face. That was like my tires, like.
The driver said his tires could not handle her weight.
For every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car.
Yeah, because they need to order the Uber XL.
No, I don't never have to order Uber XL.
He
Sounds like an Eastern
apologized,
European
canceled
guy,
the ride, and left her there. The rapper says she's pretty tough.
Pause it for a second. This is so funny that the news is covering this like it's a real thing.
hey man, Lyft's paying for this.
It literally
She's getting
seems
paid,
like a
dude.
story that we would do before this podcast. Woman is too fat, and then she goes to the guy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this is America, man. This is a uniquely American.
Okay,
kind
now
of
it's her
story.
rapping. Let's see what her
But
rapping
the
looks
mic
like.
is crushed by the whole situation.
I just want them to know, it really hurt my feelings.
It looks like Lyft might be hurting pretty soon too.
If she was embarrassed about it, she wouldn't be doing all this.
I mean, she's gonna get paid. Lyft's a
say weight is a
huge company.
protected characteristic in Michigan by law.
It would be no different than a driver pulling up and saying,
Slick Rick,
I
this
don't
guy,
wanna have
eh?
black
John
people
Marco.
in my car, or I don't want to have Christians in my car or Muslims in my car. It's the same under the law.
Yeah, no, it's
the
not.
same.
The lawsuit is filed. Since she posted the encounter on social media, other full-figured folks have reached out saying the same thing happened to them.
Oh, they're probably bummed. They go, wait, I could sue for this? So that's the thing. People don't know that you can just sue for anything. in this
Imagine you
country.
just get Dave Blunt's fucking calling an Uber.
Yeah,
you just know they're getting paid out.
XL or something. I mean, yeah, it sucks. It sucks for the driver and for her because she's gonna win.
No, Mrs. Dash, please, 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 please.
You can just
The tires is hilarious.
tires is crazy. Suspension makes more sense. Than
Yeah, he
tires.
said the wrong words.
Yeah, you're like, if we hit a pothole, man, it's like they're gonna bend the frame.
Lyft drivers are allowed to decline rides for safety reasons. However, this is discrimination, like they said. So this guy looks like Louis C.K. over there. Oh no, that's your other video.
That's Dr. Phil.
That's Dr. Phil. Also, you know what? If you don't mind, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We haven't told you. I know we have way more listeners than subscribers.
Yeah, hit that subscribe
So
button.
if we've been close to 100,000. I know a lot of people listen. They don't subscribe.
Yeah.
Just honestly, if everyone just
I think YouTube
subscribes
has-
right now, we can get to 100,000 and we can stop talking about
I know,
it.
and I think YouTube has a thing where when you say subscribe, it just went and flashed pink. Like they have this thing on it
Really?
where when you say subscribe, the subscribe button just flashed. So just go hit it.
Pop it up there.
Pop
Why
it
not?
out there.
Yeah, I actually have something to announce to you. So I got this email, and this is a pretty big deal for me. I know, Danny, how you feeling? You're sick. You've been sick lately.
I'm pretty good.
Didn't skip Tim Dillon's party, man. Banger of the year.
I know that I was sick for.
He goes,
I have FOMO.
I'm already tucked in. He told me. Ryan Long, I hope this message finds you well. My name is Steve, and I'm reaching out on behalf of Steve Harvey. We're excited to invite you to be the podcast series that Steve Harvey has started, where we showcase inspiring stories from talented individuals. So he's talking about me. They're talented
inspiration.
I recently came across your Facebook page, so I came across the Facebook. I was truly impressed with your work. We believe that it's a unique perspective, journey. Also, Steve Harvey's manager's name being Steve. It's a funny thing for them to pick.
Hello, my name is Steve. Steve
Yeah,
Harvey,
so you go,
manager, Steve.
I'm Steve Harvey. What's your manager's name? Also Steve. He only knows one white name. Our podcast explores the fascinating stories and achievements of individuals making a positive impact in industries. So that's, I honestly,
I got this one for
the
Dana
Steve Harvey
for Dana Carvey.
Dana Carvey wanted you on Fly on a Wall.
Yeah. No, that's the funny thing.
They always make up his podcast that doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because it wasn't Fly on the Wall. It was just the Dana Carvey.
They always say they're
podcast.
doing a Facebook live stream.
Yeah.
So the scam is basically then they get your bank information and somehow they steal your
And they
money.
extract your
I
money,
don't
yeah.
get how can you extract someone's money with their bank information?
I don't know about. There is a big scam going on right now. You probably have received a million of these emails because I've been getting them nonstop about it's a Twitter phishing email where it says you have content that violated. Do you get that?
I get it from Facebook, not Twitter.
Oh, okay. So there's a Twitter one going on right now because of with all the crypto meme coins or whatever that's going on. I've seen so many people get hacked on this. Basically, they send you an email. It says,
yeah, that's how they get you from Facebook.
yeah, for Twitter. But so they basically they send you an email and it says you have a content violation. Click on this link to like review it. Otherwise, we're like going to do something to your account. Tons of like big people like the Dean Norris or whatever.
And we're back. Door opened, and Danny just got a package.
Yeah.
The dildos. The dildos.
No, it's a painting from Vince that he made for us. But anyways, Dean Norris from Breaking Bad. So he got hacked. And then the deal is he gets hacked. And then they go on his page and they go, hey, I'm launching a crypto token called like Dean Coin. Right. And he's locked out of his account. So then he can't be like, this isn't mine. So they launch a crypto token and then it takes off because it's like from a big account. And these scammers have been making tons of money doing it.
Wow.
I've seen like literally in the last week, 5 people get this exact scam. And I've been getting this email. I get it twice a day.
And then you never click on it, obviously.
Obviously. I mean, I know what it is. I've seen so many people get it. And I mean, again, I always, any email, I check the sender and it's never the right sender address. Right, it's always like some random address, and then you go, okay, this is obviously a scam. But it gets to your main mailbox. Like that's the real hard part.
Yeah, so there is a lot of people
spam.
running these scams. However, I actually have been invited on the Steve Harvey's new podcast to showcase inspirational people. So obviously, I don't normally do this, but I did send them my bank information,
Sure.
obviously. But this is Steve Harvey. I make a special exception.
Hey man, maybe you get $3K out of it.
It's killing me that Steve Harvey's his manager is also Steve. Hi, I'm Dana Carvey's manager, Dana.
I mean, the funny thing is you laugh, but they send this email out to enough people. And like, they send this to people who probably like have a podcast with 20 viewers who have been doing it for 5 years. And they
Holy shit, Steve Harvey wants to talk to me.
Yeah, and they're like, man, this is my big break.
Yeah.
And they do it.
I know.
Yeah, like people are getting scammed out of this.
So
if you get an email from Steve Harvey, delete.
Yeah, obviously mine's real, but in your case, yeah.
Or Dana Carvey.
So there was like 5 or 6. There's kind of like lots of real stuff happening, but there was 5 or 6 stories that were fucking hilarious to me. So Lauren Boebert, and there is
Could happen to anybody.
This could happen to anyone. Also, it has been pretty funny, like watching like Candace Owens has like a new documentary that's just how like Macron's wife's a man.
I know,
because he's been on that. It's almost just like old school bullying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is sort of, when there was just like, the Me Too started out, and then by the end it was, kind of like you slapped an ass 10 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Or even less than that,
Sure,
like
sure.
made me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
even though we were like dating for 10 years.
Yeah, of course.
My husband made me
My
feel
husband,
uncomfortable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Coerced me into sex.
My husband begged me for sex. Yeah, those ones, right? I think this is that. It started out where it was like, okay, there's like a dude that put on a wig and he's trying to go in the chick's bathroom and stuff like that. And then it's gotten to just like every woman's like, she's a man,
She's
baby.
a man. Well, that's her and Nancy Mace are going hard on that like whole
It's old-fashioned
transgender
bullying.
bathroom thing.
Dude, that is hilarious if I just pick a girl
Yeah.
and start a fucking YouTube series about how, nah, she's a dude. And she's like, I'm not a dude. And you're like, nah, you're a
I don't
dude.
get it. I thought this is like the country where every minor infraction gets you sued.
Why is she not getting sued?
Like, why isn't like?
Well, don't you have to be American to sue someone that's American?
I don't think so.
I don't know if you can you sue people across borders
That's
that
a good
easily?
question.
I guess if you're the fucking prime minister somewhere, you
like
can probably
Prime
figure
Minister
it
of
out.
France, yeah, you can sue. I think he's probably like that's kind of like even acknowledging this in any way.
No, I think he tried to sue, and that's where it turned to 11.
Oh, okay.
I think that what happened was she said. I think that what happened was she started doing this video about how Macron's a man.
That's like been her main thing besides like
she's been on this.
Jews.
She's been on Macron's a man. Yeah. Macron's husband's a man. She does look a little weird, but
yeah, but she's like we already went over this. She's like 70.
We have adjudicated this,
yeah.
but it's gotten funnier because literally it's like, and she said that I think what happened was some of the people from Macron, they did try to sue and they like went to her house to like serve her or something like that. And that's what really turned it to 11. She was like, manly behavior. You're just confirming my suspicion.
Yeah, a woman would never sue.
Or a woman would never come to the house and fucking, that's what she's saying. Anyways, Boebert basically, it was the plot. I'll tell you what, it was the plot line from Designated Survivor.
Oh, yeah.
They were actually trans, but Boebert was forced to apologize after a bathroom incident, mistaken identity. Lauren Boebert, who always has good controversies, bangers, made a scene at the Capitol on Thursday after she tried to get a guy kicked out of a woman's bathroom, but it all turned out to be a huge mistake, leaving her scrambling to apologize. But it is basically she
apologized.
Well, it's one of those things where you kind of like, you kick down the door and you're just like, fucking butts, dude.
Yeah.
You know? This person turns
Austin
around.
Powers kind of. Where is it? Where is it?
Yeah, there's a Finkel Einhorn situation.
Chick's just taking a shit.
You sort of kick them in the balls, and then you're just like, and then she's just like, I don't feel anything, and you're like, what? Or Mitt McGruber, where the guy doesn't even have a dick, and he goes, I'm gonna rip your dick off and shove it in your mouth, and then he doesn't even have a dick. It's long gone.
Hey man, I mean the way that the ground's been laid over the past decade.
Maybe
like,
maybe they were like saw someone like peeing standing up. You know what I mean?
maybe.
Like,
Dude, I guarantee you.
just heard a trickle and then looked down and the fucking legs are on the
Lauren
ground.
Boebert, she's like this tall. It was just a tall woman.
Yeah.
It was literally that's all it was.
What a night. That's
just a really tall
What
woman.
a nightmare to be a chick that just gets.
Yeah. And
Look, that's also been adjudicated that there's no one that the trans shit hurt more than tall,
busted
women.
Oh man.
Any sort of a man, you got like a, sort of like a chiseled chin.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like you're on dating apps.
Broad shoulders.
Dude, you got to put like your fucking like blood results on like your dating app as one of your photos to just prove that.
Yeah, I know. I give them the
chromosome.
But everyone's, if you're like a tall woman with slightly broad shoulders, any sort of athletic,
you're a man now.
You're a man now, and everyone's giving you sort of the Larry David, like the
I mean, can you blame them?
You don't know what's real anymore. What I'm thinking about? How like one of the big things is always the football players will go home with a girl and they'll turn out to be trans and they murder them.
Yeah. That happens.
I think that's happened a couple times.
Sure.
So that is, on the other side, you do have to disclose, ladies. You know what it kind of reminds me of?
And gentlemen.
Yeah. It sort of reminds me of if you're at a restaurant and you ask for a Diet Coke and they're like, we only have Pepsi. 99% of the time people are going to say, yeah, sure, just bring it, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're a woman that kind of, that was trans, like most people could tell.
Yeah.
So 90% of the time you probably get back and then you're like, just so you know, I'm a man. And the guy's like, yeah.
I wish you didn't say that.
You think I don't know that? But I think you have to say it where you go, hey, just so you know, we don't have Diet Coke. We're bringing you Pepsi. It's like, sure.
Yeah.
But I can't. One in a million times, you might bring the guy, you go, I'll have Diet Coke, and then you just bring him Pepsi, and you don't disclose. The guy takes the sip, he goes, the fuck? I'll kill you.
Yeah, because we're only the coffee. What? Yeah. You lied to me.
What the fuck is this? You go, did you just make me put Pepsi in my mouth? So you have to disclose.
I mean, it seems reasonable. It seems
reasonable.
Did you see the thing with, the Trump's like reversing the prison stuff, the trans people in prison? Did you see how many trans women are in men's prisons?
How many?
15%.
What the hell?
It was insane. I don't know if this is all
Shut
jails
the
or this is like
front
federal
door.
prisons. They released the number.
15%?
Yeah, and the crazy part is because they're all they must have like transitioned recently because obviously that's such a plum gig. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
The women's jails are so much better. So then now these dudes are like, you know, probably got some implants, kind of grew their hair out, and now they're getting sent back to the men's prison.
Oh, they're going to be chum.
Oof. Tough. Uno reverse card right there.
Those guys were living the life.
I know,
though.
and now they're about to live the opposite.
Crazy that it was that many of them. That's nuts.
It's crazy, and there's
No
only
pun intended.
yeah. That's not, I know, and there's not that many trans. The thing is, because there are trans men
In the men's prison?
No, they're obviously in the women's prison too. Why would you go to the men's prison?
Yeah.
That's crazy. You have a vagina.
Well, I thought that's what you were trying to say.
No, but I'm just saying there are. But like the number is like it's like 50 to 1 or something.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously, but. I don't think any of them are in.
I mean, these guys cracked the code, obviously.
cracked
and
the
half these people probably like
a lot of them are sex offenders. So
yeah,
you're like,
of course.
right? So you're getting literally like unless you like stay in protective custody and you can't interact with any people. Like if you don't do that, then you're gonna get killed.
Yeah.
So you really have no choice. So it's just like it's such an easy decision. Not no more.
Yeah, I didn't
It's
realize
a good
there were that
run.
many.
It's a crazy.
Great
run.
run
I couldn't
for
believe
them.
it.
You have to respect the player.
Couldn't believe the
You
number.
honestly can't even hate the player at that point.
No.
Someone's in jail. You're just like, yeah, okay, I'll.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Grow my
I don't
hair
think I don't think it's 15% of all like jail inmates in America, but it was like I think it was maybe federal or something, but it was a crazy high number.
Well, there's been. You're right though. It does feel like it's been 15 years, even though it's been like 10 days or whatever.
crazy, man.
Lots been happening. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members, billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000x. 1,000 times for the layman out there, your cash. Run your game all season long with PrizePicks. We all know the big game is coming up, which, by the way, we got to figure out what we're doing.
Yeah, we do.
And also, we got to get something on the books for that. And, use our code. You're
Yeah.
doing it anyway.
Yep.
Use our code at PrizePicks. You can get up to 1,000 times your money on PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, Florida. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. Join over 10 million members. Sign up today. PrizePicks now offers MasterCard for quick, easy deposits into your account. Sign up today. You're getting $50 instantly when you play $5 instantly. You don't even need to win to receive your $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts. Taco Tuesday, each Tuesday. PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups.
And PrizePicks is super easy to use. It takes under a minute to lock in your selections. And for the big game, I've got Jalen Hurts, less than 224.5 passing yards. Saquon Barkley, more than 116.5 rushing yards. Travis Kelce, more than 0.5 touchdowns. And Patrick Mahomes, more than 0.5 rushing touchdowns. Download the app today and use code BOYSCAST to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code BOYSCAST to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game.
Oh, and it is the new year. We're all about setting goals, actually hitting them. What you fuel your body with matters, and that's why when we're talking about today's sponsor, Huel, that is Huel, their Black Edition, ready to drink, is a complete meal in a bottle. We're talking high in protein, low in sugar, packed with all the nutrients you need to perform at your best. Right now, new customers can try it for 15% off, plus a free gift, using the code BOYSCAST, the exclusive code.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I actually been on these two, and I got a big
I
bag
just
at my
drank
house,
one.
and we got a whole bunch of them here. So I've been on Huel. Perfectly balanced meal. Taking the guesswork out of healthy eating. No prep, no cooking. Just grab a Huel for your most inconvenient meals. Tastes amazing. Like a milkshake, you can choose from chocolate or vanilla, both low in sugar, affordable, and budget-friendly with high-protein meals under $5. My favorite's the Black Edition, ready to drink, 35-gram protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, all in one bottle. Me personally, I prefer the chocolate over the vanilla. I don't know. I guess
I'm a chocolate man, too.
Yeah, it's sort of an irrelevant point because I guess everyone's different, but
Yeah.
I have both, and I have been gravitating towards the chocolates. And you don't have to believe me. You can take the leap and join the community of hooligans with this exclusive offer for new customers. 15% plus a free gift with the code BOYSCAST. That is 15% plus a free gift for new customers with the code BOYSCAST at Huel.com, Huel.com. Start your year off strong with Huel. Nutritionally complete meals in minutes so you can focus on what really matters. This is probably a banger for me. Is Kamala Harris blames husband dog. This is a gossip column, by the way. Yeah. A News 18.
Daily Mail.
But a couple different.
Well, it's from the Daily Mail, actually.
Yeah, it has come out. They have inside sources. Kamala Harris blames husband Doug Emhoff for election loss. Considers him dead weight. So
this just in: women cannot take accountability for anything. Extra, everybody! No accountability. Still in 2025.
Kamala Harris just walking in after the election. You fucking happy?
Yeah. What the fuck was that, Doug? What the fuck, Doug?
Wow. Yeah. I guess you're happy with yourself. You're pleased with yourself?
Yeah.
Nice work.
Good work, Doug. You could have been first gentleman.
Yeah. And I guess you didn't want that. You threw it all away.
Now you're just first piece of shit. You happy? Yeah, of course it's fucking Doug's fault.
Definitely Doug's fault.
I mean, I'm sure she knew about the nanny stuff.
Obviously.
She obviously knew about the nanny stuff. She knew it was going to come out.
Well, if it isn't Dougie fucking the nanny Emhoff, look who it is.
She's icing him out.
Doug's in the doghouse.
The doghouse.
The doghouse.
We've renamed in America the doghouse to the doghouse.
Do you think
he's living?
Do you think well, you saw the video where he's going shopping with her.
Yeah.
You don't go shopping. Like, she's like, oh, I'm going to go pick up a few things. You go, okay.
Yeah. He goes like, yeah,
you're coming.
Multi-millionaires. Can we just order?
No, but that's I'm in the doghouse move. She's like, I'm going to go pick up eggs. And you go, okay. Well, I guess
yeah.
I'll be right there.
Let's go do a photo op of us being normal
because otherwise she'd be like, oh, I'm going to go pick up something. You go, okay. She goes, you're not coming? You go, why would I come?
Yeah, do you need me?
And you go, because you ruined the fucking election?
Because I'm nothing now and I was supposed to be the president?
Because Donald Trump's the president because of you, Mr. Emhoff.
Yeah, do you see what's going on in the country right now? It's literally your fault. See all these fucking families getting broken up? That's you.
Yeah, see all this.
That is like on you.
Yeah, and by the way, look at all these nannies. And no, don't get any ideas.
Oh, yeah. You know when they're like laying in bed at night and she's like watching the news and he's like, all the bad shit. He's like, could we maybe watch something else?
Yeah.
Just turn the channel.
She's just sitting there.
Sports is on.
No, what happens is she's just sitting there watching the TV, but the whole time her head's turned 90 degrees at him.
She's just like,
And then he's trying to look forward, but she's just 90-degree bullseye right on him.
Every bad thing Trump does. Donald Trump has banned transgenders from the military. She's just like,
If only there was someone that gave a shit about their wife.
Didn't fucking sandbag their wife.
You fucking sandbagged me, Doug.
Tough, man.
Kamala Harris may have been all smiles and welcoming at her crushing presidential election defeat to Donald Trump, but reporters claim that she places she puts the blame on Doug and Doug alone.
Doug alone. She had no role in it at all.
I added that part.
Yeah.
She places the blame firmly on Doug and Doug alone.
Fucking white men, huh?
Now another white man.
There's another white man just ruining a black woman's chances.
Yeah, that's true. She's probably playing that. You fucking racist. That's why you probably didn't want me in.
Dude, that guy I bet he's just like, I wish I was dead.
I wish I was dead.
I wish I was dead.
She definitely comes
in.
He's
real,
polishing
It's a Wonderful Life. Just thinking about what it'd be like if he was never born at all. First black female president of the United States.
Dougie.
Sorry, Doug.
Now that Donald Trump's taken the presidential charge, Harris is apparently playing the blame game, and her target is Doug Emhoff, who she reportedly considers dead weight. Dead weight Doug.
Ouch.
Dead weight Doug. That's what we call him.
Oh, yeah. She's going with the Trump nicknames.
So anyway, she goes on about he's hypocritical after the bomb. She looked hypocritical after the bombshells and the nanny pregnant and stuff like that. So.
I mean, that's part of the deal when you run for president is... You got a lot of skeletons in your closet.
I mean, yeah, you can't. Yeah. Is it really Doug's fault or is it your fault for marrying a guy that, was banging nannies and stuff like that? And then
knocking up the
You might want to stay away from that one and, not be the... You'd have to stay. You want to stay away from that topic a little bit if you got mad skeletons.
For sure. And again, maybe she figured, she's like, well, Trump's way worse, so they should negate each other. But
yeah,
no dice.
Well, she's also thinking the media is going to ignore that, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She's thinking, oh, we have skeletons. Like, oh, do we have skeletons?
Yeah, which I mean, they kind
Do you
of.
know who this number is right now? Yeah, that's the head of every major media publication.
And I mean, they probably did give her the kid gloves on all this stuff. You know, Fox probably ran with it nonstop, and all the other ones kind of just were like mentioned it once. And
Doug's dick's dry, eh? He hasn't had sex in a while.
Oh, he doesn't want to.
You don't think he wants to?
Nah.
When was the last time you think Doug smashed?
It's been a minute. You know what? Probably whenever Kamala flipped in the polls.
When she thought she was winning.
Yeah, when they were like, she's ahead by like 5 points or whatever.
Yeah.
They probably fucking put one down.
They probably grabbed one in there.
Yeah, just to blow off some steam. But since then, no.
Doug's definitely, his dick's been dry.
Yeah.
He's probably eyeing the nanny again. He's got that Schwarzenegger glare.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, there's no nannies in the Harris household. He's like,
male nannies?
He's like, I've asked you if we could refer to it as the Harris Emhoff household. It's the Harris household.
Yes, ma'am.
So Harris Emhoff.
He probably has to go along with it too when they're at the party. He's like, yeah, I did her best. Obviously, Doug didn't pull his weight. And she goes, yeah, I really apologize.
Obviously,
for
Doug
that.
fucked me, but is what it is. Always 2028.
Always 28. Obviously, you know, that's what happens when you have a husband who's actively working against you. Dropping the ball every which way. And he goes, yeah, I apologize. Yeah, that's true.
We said we weren't going to talk about this at the fundraisers.
I that is true. It's I did it. She would have won, obviously, if it wasn't for me.
He goes, I made a mistake. I owned up to it. And, I did apologize.
How good's that cover of the magazine? New York Magazine slammed for crop and photo to make MAGA look like it's a racist cult.
Yeah.
So basically, they did this article called "The Cruel Kids Table."
Yeah.
And they have like a Republican event, but it's just like it's like a standard like New York kind of like.
This one wasn't. This was in This was
DC. Sorry,
but it was the same as the Young Republicans thing that they do in New York.
Yeah.
That I went to the after
And
party
it's just like a bunch of kind of like frat broy dudes
it's
for the
totally,
most part.
That's what it is. It's just like normal.
Frat broy dudes. They wear
even
suits.
said in the article like most of them don't even identify as Republicans.
Yeah.
It's more just like a vibe thing at this point where they go, these are the dweebs and we're the cool kids, and they just happen to fall under this umbrella. But
Who's saying they're the dweebs?
That's almost like the article was saying, like a lot of these people like don't even identify as Republicans even at these Republican events.
Right.
They're just more like, this is like where the cool vibe is.
This is where the party is.
Yeah, this is where the party is.
You know what I was kind of thinking? That's where, because I've seen a lot of, you know, like kind of like traditional Matt Walsh conservatives posting like how much they won and stuff like that. And there is a bit of where you're like, sort of, but really like it's kind of like it's almost like a lot of the traditional conservatives are sort of like concerned with like vengeance.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And the actual, while that was happening,
in my opinion.
Right. You know, there's that. I think Dick Masterson posted a funny thing where it was just like, always leave your enemies and escape, like 48 laws of power or whatever.
Yeah.
But on top of that, more important part I was kind of making and they were sort of saying that, you know, Republicans are the cool ones, but you're like, yeah, but not you. Really what happened is like, they've been concerned about like vengeance while those tech bros silently took over the country.
And then all these kids just like latched onto this because.
But these are more. But I'm saying they're like, oh look, traditional conservatism kind of won, and you're like, these guys are all doing coke, fucking hookers.
Yeah, I know.
You're fucking. The president has 3 baby mamas. Elon Musk has like 9 kids. Like all these guys are like banging hook. Like tech. Yeah, it's sort of the like.
They would have been Democrats had the Democrats just not been ridiculous for the last 10 years. Like these people would have just as well been Democrats had they just been.
Does feel like
normal people.
I was kind of even thinking that in the concept of like when you think of like Zuckerberg, and you know there is a bit like where we've been sort of talking about it a bit where he's kind of, you know, they're snaking on over to the different sides and they're sort of cocky, but I feel like they think of it. Actually, you know what I was saying about when you have to meet, like when you have to confirm, you have to meet the girlfriend's dad.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how they think of like presidents in politics. Like they almost think of it as like beneath them.
Sure.
And they're just like, oh yeah, I started dating this new girl. Like, I guess I got to meet her family. Like, okay, let me shake some hands and pretend that I care. And then he goes back being like, yeah, we own we'll tell them what to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, I hope I have your permission. Like,
yeah,
to
walks away
her,
and they're just like, suckers.
Yeah, but also, like, really, that's a formality asking for permission to marry the girl.
Yeah.
Because if the dad says no, it's like, I guess we'll cut you out then.
Marry her anyway.
I'll marry her anyway.
Marry that.
Why'd you have to be so rude?
Did you know that guy?
That's Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, I think I met that guy. Yeah.
Wasn't that a Canadian guy? I thought you said.
I didn't know him super well.
Oh, yeah.
I think they were around when we were around.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Mark Zuckerberg leaving after if he's ever
Sure.
He does like he asked Trump for something and Trump says no and he goes why'd you have to be so rude? That's not what a Zuckerberg do. Yeah.
I'm gonna marry her anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean,
We're gonna do the merger anyway. Yeah. So anyway.
I mean, yeah, the tech guys are obviously but
you know
we've
what I
said it
mean?
before. They go where the wind blows.
Yeah, but like most of my friends that, probably lean that way, it seems like the vibe of who's really being pandered to in terms of calling the shots and, getting the legislation they want is really the tech bros more than traditional conservatives. The traditional conservatives are sort of being pandered to the way that like Democrats pander to black people.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, Christians, like for sure we're in. Yeah, look, we're out working on that abortion thing. It's on the docket.
Yeah, I got this cross thingy on my neck now.
You see me touching the Bible the other day?
Yeah.
Oh, the abortion thing on the way.
On the way.
We're working on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I
but
mean,
really, these guys are all like doing coke and fucking hookers.
Yeah. Like the actual.
They're just like libertarian.
Whoever probably voted for Trump, like the identity of maybe 10% of them are actual real traditional conservatives.
Mean potatoes.
Yeah. The rest of them are just kind of.
But I think the commentators, I had actually a point.
Also, Taylor Lorenz was at this fucking party.
What was she doing there?
I don't know, but she had her dumbass bedazzled mask on.
The hell?
And a portable air purifier.
She was. Well, anyways, we didn't even say the thing.
Yeah.
So what the? You know what? Can we pull up these? Can we pull up this photo? Johnny, if you want to just
The funny thing is, there's this hot chick on the
New York
cover.
Magazine slam for cropping photo.
Yeah,
but-
and then everybody's been trying to find this hot chick.
Yeah, there's a hot chick that's on this. I didn't think she was
that hot.
She's
They found her.
fine.
She's like
But nothing.
some sorority in Texas.
Nothing wrong with it.
No, but
I wasn't. It wasn't.
No.
I wasn't fucking.
Yeah, you were like, oh my, None of that. No.
I wasn't doing that.
No.
But so basically, they did this event, and then they cropped out all the black people, and then put
And the event was put on by this guy CJ Pearson, who is black.
Yeah, so then the black guy is like, you cropped me out of my own event to say it was a white supremacist
And Waka
thing.
Flocka was there, and Gervonta Davis, the boxer, and there were lots of black people there.
It is so funny when they have to desperately try to push the narrative of like, your story doesn't work unless you cross. They know that their picture doesn't work if they have black people in it. Because when they're trying to paint a picture of like, this is like secession style mean kids at private school when you're just like this was like, I've been to a million parties like this in Toronto when I was in the band.
Yeah, I mean, I went to I love how the two black guys are circled in this photo, or three of them are circled.
Well, this was circled, but
that was circled by him.
This was circled to prove the point. See the white lines? That's where they cropped it out.
Yeah.
So they cropped these
right at the edge of his face.
Dude, they cropped all the black guys out to like make a point where look at how many white people are at this party, which obviously, the idea is they're supposed to be like, look at all these white people, and you're supposed to be like, ugh!
Oh my word.
I
mean, I went to
a Klan rally in my city.
I went to the after party for the Young Republicans 2 years ago, just to like, it was like at some party or whatever, but like it was pretty diverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like.
Well, especially if it's in New York.
I mean, it was way more diverse than the Fish concert. I'll tell you that much.
Way more. I mean, it's probably.
I hope New York Magazine doesn't find out about Fish.
I bet you it's way more diverse than a Democrat donor.
Yeah.
Thing.
But I hope New York Magazine doesn't.
I'll tell you what wasn't diverse about these things, though. It was a lot of dudes. Those things do tend to be a sausage fest a little.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, girls don't care about politics.
I mean, it's like kind of like a frat bar.
I mean, when girls do care about politics, they care about left-wing politics.
Yeah.
They're naturally more inclined to left-wing politics just based on empathy.
Yeah, I think
higher
so.
degrees of empathy. I think so, yeah.
There was sometimes when a girl's because girls sort of, when they get into Republican politics, I've been kind of trying to do a joke about that forever, where there's sort of like I've never really dated like a proper Republican girl, and just like a girl that likes, what are you, fucking Biden supporter? You come quick, she calls you a Biden supporter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there is an interesting thing, because like I said, if you look at probably most of the thought leaders kind of right now in terms of what are leading like the charge in America, it's a lot of like cutting spending, the debt's a problem. But whenever you talk to girls that are super Republican, there's a lot of like, very reasonable like Bridget Fettussy types. Yeah. You know what I mean? That kind of calls it as she sees it.
Who again, she's very much like, I was a Democrat for
right
my whole life.
But when you see, and she's funny.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of Republican chicks that are like, they kind of take that and then it becomes all about like the children and people
Sure.
need to pay and
Yeah.
like we're unsafe and all that. It's just like that's the angle's always that.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, chicks obviously don't love austerity,
What does that mean?
not spending money.
I'm listening.
Yeah. Chicks aren't super pumped about austerity.
Big
About
word, Danny.
Not super, not super
Danny
pumped.
the dictionary.
They're not super pumped about tightening the belt. It's not a winning message with women.
Fucking Danny the dictionary. On the
Fucking going through the couch looking for loose change. Not really a female strategy.
No, they're more like, hey, I can't believe, which, whatever, there is sort of stuff, but it's kind of like when you look at the border thing, the same on the other side where you're just like, this has been happening forever.
Yeah.
And you go, you never heard a peep about any of the...
No, Obama was like, Obama was the biggest deporter out of anybody. You didn't
Yeah.
hear one thing about it.
I mean, it's one of those
I mean, it's all we're going to be hearing about on all left-wing media.
I mean, listen, when you, I've said this before, it's like, some people are like making fun of the people that are crying or whatever. And it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, it does even anything where it's like, if you have a buddy that like gets arrested and, and then like if your dad gets a DUI and now he goes to jail for 3 years, whatever the situation is, it is like, you're like, that sucks. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But, it is what it is. But I was kind of thinking, because whenever they talk about deportation stuff, like as two people had immigrated here, it is always funny to me where they talk about like, this guy, he's like, his parents kind of came here and I'm like, I can't even imagine like a world where I think like my mom and dad could just come like live with me and stay with me.
Yeah, well, dude, this guy right here. So I don't know if we want to play the Dr.
Well,
Phil.
but okay, yeah, we'll play the Dr. Phil thing. But even on top of that, though, so think about that. Like, and then if you said, for example, if you right now,
yeah,
you had your whole family, your brother and your parents all came and like moved into your house, right?
Oof.
Well, you had a bigger house and they all kind of moved into your house, right?
Yeah.
And then after like 4 years of them just like living in your house, like the government was like, yeah, those people can't be here and your mom, and they got sent back to Canada, right? Mm-hmm. Can you think anyone would give a shit?
Give a shit? No.
Do you think anyone on the internet would give a shit if your parents got kicked
hell
out?
no.
Well, we have multiple friends that kind of moved to America, overstayed, and they got sent back to Canada, right?
Yeah, we know lots of people.
Yeah, but okay,
Again, you don't have a right to do that.
No, but my point is, the same people that are kind of like really upset about this, I go, I told you my buddy actually...
Yeah, you didn't give a shit.
You didn't... I told you I had a buddy that he was in a relationship.
Yeah.
They lived together, and then he got sent back to Canada. They had like a house and a dog and everything, and I was like, I told you that happened. And it was like... And then you're...
Yeah, he was white.
He was white, so your kind of attitude was like, well, that was stupid of him.
I mean, dude, if they go down to fucking like Brighton Beach and start deporting all the Russians...
No,
Let me tell you, it's not going to get the clicks on CNN.
Not at all.
If some guy's like, I have to go back to Moscow, you're like, fucking later, Yuri.
That's a
Peace
good
out,
point.
dude.
Yeah, peace, Yuri. Yeah, so I think it's just like, I guess it is just a testament to you decide, you really play with people.
There's still the
news
racial
really can play with
hierarchy.
people's emotions.
Oh, big time. And man, I was like on my whole TikTok right now is all just deportation stuff. And every like...
Is it even more than it has been normally by a large margin?
No. Like again, Obama did way more numbers than any president.
But that's what I'm saying.
In the last 25 years. But no, and he was very much like if you cross here illegally. But again, it's like the news chooses to focus on what the news chooses to focus on. They decide what the stories are, and at the time, they just decided that wasn't a big story.
Yeah.
Because their guy was doing it, so they go, "We're not showing videos of crying people."
I mean, I guess it is sort of. It is I get the idea that people are like, I'm a compassionate person.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, well, why aren't you crying right now for like a kid that's getting murdered in Abu Dhabi or whatever, you know what I mean?
Or
and then you're,
America.
pick a place, right? You go, there's a kid getting molested right now. Why aren't you crying for that? And you're just like, yeah, well, you're like, well, if I knew about every single thing and would cry about all of them, I'd explode. So I guess you go, well, I'll cry about the ones they show me.
Yeah.
And then
I just do what the fucking news tells me.
Yeah, I do what the news tells me.
Yeah,
you go, the news says, and everyone sort of does it to some degree where you go, but it is when you actually break it down, you should be able to rationalize where if you tell the person, you go, did you know the number didn't actually go up from Obama? Like, you should be able to be like, oh, I've been had a little bit.
Again, this is all just a hatred of Trump, like directed into... like
but you should be able to be like, I've been had a little bit.
They want to subvert Trump, and This is how they're going to do it. And honestly,
I think my point's good though.
Yeah.
Like if you if you had your visa right now, if you didn't extend your visa, I know that's not applicable anymore because you're married. But like, if you hadn't applied for your visa, you extended your 3 years, like JJ almost did, and then he got his new visa.
Yeah,
and he got sent back to Canada because he went to got arrested for like a DUI or something, went to jail, and then JJ finished getting his DUI, and then the place is like, also you extended your visa, so we're sending you back to Canada. 0 people would give a shit.
No, hell no.
And they definitely wouldn't give a shit if like his crime was like punching a guy. You know what I mean?
Murder.
Yeah.
Man, there was a guy. The thing is,
no one would care.
I never really got that. I never understood the sanctuary city thing until this deportation started.
I didn't. Yeah. Okay.
So basically,
maybe I don't get it either.
Dude, like they've showed multiple people. Like there was this one guy. I think he was in Chicago. This guy's in Chicago, but got murdered. This guy murdered his ex-wife. Literally punched her. She was 1 month pregnant. This Dominican guy killed his ex-wife. I believe the baby died as well. Got 17 years in prison. So he does his 17 years. They release him, like whatever the Department of Prisons releases him into Chicago. And then normally, if you're not in a sanctuary city, they would release you to ICE, who would just deport you.
Yeah.
But because sanctuary cities, their whole deal is they're like, we don't interact with ICE, so they just let him back in the community.
Yeah, what's the point of that?
And then
like, who's arguing for that?
It's, I guess, because they're trying to protect like illegals who do not commit crimes, which is most of them, right? But then it covers for the people who do commit crimes because it's like this blanket thing. So then they just like release these people who are literally like, rapists, murderers. Like they do just straight up, you get out of jail, and if you're in a sanctuary city, they just release you back. And now it's on ICE to find you, but the thing is, no local law enforcement will cooperate with you to help you.
So ICE is having a hard time. That's why I have to get Dr. Phil.
That's why you need Dr. Phil. Yeah. I mean,
why is Dr. Phil in ICE now?
Because he became buddies with Tom Homan, and he's got this new like fucking website.
What's the website?
Merit TV. I guess it's the opposite of DEI TV.
What is this called?
Merit.
Oh,
it's legitimately like you think it's a joke, but like I'm pretty sure that's the premise. It's the opposite of DEI.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dr. Deportation.
Dr. Deportation.
So Dr. Phil, and then this guy was like
and Tom Homan is, so this guy, this is in Chicago. This is they were live streaming this. But so this guy
is like the equivalent. Dr. Phil, you know what it is?
Yeah.
This is Dr. Phil being like, I'm gonna do my equivalent of pedophile hunting.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. He's
I guess this guy is a pedophile, but he's like, I'm higher class. I'm working with the government. I'm not out here.
This is an interesting case because this guy, I don't know, do we want to play a little bit of the video?
Yeah, but don't you think it would be hilarious? Or like, what would be the worst thing to happen to you? Not hilarious, but like, imagine you were just like, okay, I'm going to do like a pedophile hunting, and then you found the pedophile, and then the pedophile just beat the shit out of you.
I mean, that does happen.
Does it?
There was a couple pedophile hunters who got stabbed. I mean, dude, you're literally like cornering a fucking rat. Kind of like you're cornering a person who like, they're like, okay, I'm going to jail and I'm going to be like getting killed in jail. Like I have nothing to lose.
Right.
Yeah, there were a couple online pedophile hunters who got stabbed.
But yeah, I guess. So
dangerous,
then there
man.
you go. But
I remember when we were in Vegas 2 years ago, the one dude was like, you want to do a fucking catch? And I think Big J maybe went with him, but I'm like, no. Like, last thing I need is getting fucking stabbed by a pedophile.
Yeah.
Like, what? For some internet?
Also, that's another thing. It's like, for us not being citizens, I always am like super, we had a buddy who graffitied on a, he graffitied on a payphone, and he got sent out of the country.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always like super careful about that stuff. Mm-hmm. So
which is weird, because why wasn't he protected by the sanctuary city thing? That's what I wonder. I wonder how they like pick and choose.
Yeah. How do Canadians not get protected by the sanctuary city?
I don't know. Maybe because he was here illegally.
Do you think it's a skin color thing? Is that what you're saying?
Hey. Call him like I see him.
Hey, listen. Okay, so Dr. Phil.
Tom Homan. This is in Chicago. They pick up this guy who has like charges for basically like sexually abusing a minor. But so there's a lot of cases like this guy. This guy basically says, I don't know, do you want to play like a few seconds of this?
Yeah.
Seda.
Seda what? You have a first and last name.
Sam.
Seda Sam?
Yes.
Where are you from?
Where I was born or where I'm from?
Where are you born?
Thailand.
You've been deported before from the United States?
No.
Never been deported?
I've been in the system before.
EMB.
Yeah.
Was it just this for a long time?
Yeah, just kind of talk to him.
Charged where?
Before?
He really is doing Steven Seagal law, man.
This is exactly, I know.
Yeah. Are you a citizen?
Did he recognize him? Does he say?
Yeah, yeah, he goes, yeah.
Your mother's a citizen,
Yes.
but you're not?
Nope.
Are you motherfucking Dr. Phil?
But you've never been deported before?
You Dr. Phil. You look like Dr. Phil.
Yeah. How do you know me?
No, I seen Dr. Phil, you know, on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he say you look like Dr. Phil?
I don't know if, either you look or you are.
Well, this is an example of sanctuary cities, right?
That'd be nuts if you're getting deported and it's by Dr. Phil.
Oh, man.
Sex crimes
I mean, who
involving
would you rather be
children.
deported by?
A
He's
woman,
walking the
I
streets
guess.
of Chicago. Again, the downfall.
All right. I don't,
Yeah, anyways,
So-
that's essentially it. But so this guy's like, my mom's a citizen. So he's like a situation where he probably came over when he was like, 10 years old. And I've read about many cases like this where people just like don't bother to get their citizenship when they come over because
Why?
his mom's a citizen. So then I don't know. People just like kind of just they're like they don't think it's an issue or they don't care to for whatever reason, or it's costs money or they don't do it. And so this guy's literally going to get deported back to Thailand, to a country he's probably like hasn't been to in 30 years. And like doesn't know anybody there, and
well, that's weird.
There was I watched this one thing of this girl, and you're going to see tons of this going forward. Like this girl who came over when she was 7 months old. Her parents came illegally. She was 7 months old. She has total American accent. She's as American as could be essentially, but she's not a citizen. And she's like, yeah, I could get deported back to a country I've never been to, and like.
There seems like there's a lot of people they can deport before they start getting to that.
That's
kind
the
of stuff.
thing, and so this is like they have to be super careful about this.
Doesn't it feel like it?
Yes, because they have a lot of people who have.
Those are bad optically.
They're going to lose, like, they're going to very quickly lose, like, people's kind of confidence in this whole system if they are not just getting rid of, like, the murderers and the rapists and all that stuff. People will be fine with that, but they're going to start catching a lot of people, like, just, who are kind of just like whatever arm's length.
Yeah, those are the ones where you're like, there isn't a really perfect answer for your like guy's been here since he's 5 years old. There just isn't a perfect answer. Like, so you're probably best to just like leave it.
Yes, I agree. But I'm saying it's like, dude, CNN is gonna, MSNBC, they're gonna run with that.
Dude, most girls in my life, you show them 10 of those, they're just like, no matter what they thought about this, they're activists now. They're just like, this is not okay.
Yeah, this is not okay.
If you take most girls in my life, I think if you show them enough of those sob stories.
I think most women in this country.
Yeah.
If you show them that, and and like. Again, like in this country specifically, it's like essentially you have an election every 2 years. You have your midterms, so it's like they could lose if they don't play this right. You could lose all your power in 2 years.
It does seem like, and I've kind of seen a lot of people. I think that's where I was saying the like sort of like commentary arm of the internet has been a lot of like, haha, good, haha, like you know what I mean?
Yeah, like gloating.
Yeah, kind of gloating, but you're just like when I see people kind of like laughing at that, you're like, it's not that crazy that you're like your average girl, who's 20 years old, like sees like a person who was born here until 5 years old and they're like getting sent back there. It's not that crazy for them to be like, yo, this is this sad.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. Like if the girl who was,
I think some people get so wrapped up in politics they lose their fucking humanity.
For sure. Like the girl who's here from 7 months old, like I know technically she's not an American, but you're like, yeah, if there's a thing of her getting fucking shackled and deported, dude.
You get a couple grandmothers getting shackled and deported.
Man, you get a lot of those videos. You're like, dude, it's gonna sink the.
I mean, that's how they get. I mean, same thing the other way. It's like, how are they getting? How do you like really get them to crack down on crime? You show them some women that were beat up. Like, that's exactly. Woman pushed on the woman that was lit on fire. That's how you're gonna have like the tough crime candidate win again because it works both ways.
It works both ways. And again, it's like I don't think anybody has any.
People are human beings.
Some people actually do legitimately have problems with them even deporting murderers for some reason, which is crazy.
Well, those are people that are too wrapped up politically.
They're just like anything Trump's doing, I'm against. Just no matter what he does, I'm just against that, like pure like TDS. But there are most people are in the middle, and most people are going to be like, yeah, they're going to see some stuff, and they're like, you know what, I was kind of on board with this. I didn't think it was going to be this, and you lost me.
Yeah, I think there's most things are that. It's like, how do you turn people off them? You just show.
But Trump kind of does actually seem like
I said, my analogy I used was the torture thing, where I go, most people are probably like somewhat on board with torture. It's like, make any of those people watch 80 videos of people getting tortured. None of them are for it anymore.
Instantly. But Trump is kind of governing like he only has 2 years. This doesn't feel like that way. He does is like, he's like, I'm doing everything in 2 years.
True Classic, the next sponsor. Actually, Johnny's got one on right now.
Yes,
Pop,
looking good.
Looking great, man. Oh, yeah, he's actually jacked over there, too, eh? So, True Classic. Listen, it is the new year. Like I said, everyone's trying to get right, hit the gym, stay active, look good. True Classic shirts. designed to accentuate the important areas like your arms and your chest while giving your midsection some breathing room. Now, some people might not really be registering what that means. There's a lot of people, because you actually want the arms to be showing off.
tight. You want to flex the guns.
But, you know, sometimes then you're bending over, you got that tight shirt on. And actually, they figured out how to make it look good. You accentuate the arms, accentuate the shoulders. You're looking jacked, but you're not going to have a gut popping out, you know? So I got
both worlds.
Yes, I got like 5 of them hanging up in my closet right now that you rotate around on. So, true classic. We're talking premium clothes at an affordable price. You can build the perfect outfit, 5 minutes or less. Everything goes great together. Best-selling t-shirts, hoodies, jeans, and more. They come in packs of 3, 6, and 9. You've seen me wearing them. The more you bundle, the more you save. These shirts are designed for your best features. Perfect fit. Snug in the arms and chest with just the right amount of room in the midsection. Winter must-haves. They got the long sleeve Henleys, fleece hoodies, jeans, button-ups, joggers, and more. So, as you know, classics or something. This is one of those ones that if you start getting them in your mix, you're going to be it'll be one of those things that 5 years from now, you're like, I'm still just a classics man.
Absolutely.
Solves a problem for you. Mix and match clothing to work with your lifestyle. Free shipping on all orders. 100% perfect fit guarantee. Easy returns. Trusted by 4 million customers. Start the new year off with clothes that actually fit right. Just go to our exclusive link at trueclassic.com/boyscast, trueclassic.com/boyscast to save. That's trueclassic.com/boyscast. Shop now. Elevate your wardrobe today. Fellas, this is a PSA for anyone who rents. And me and Danny were talking about this because he does it.
Yeah, I literally pay my rent through Bilt.
Yeah, so if you haven't...
It's a great system.
It is a good system. If you haven't heard of Bilt, you are about to thank us. Earning points on rent. Now a reality. Just pay your rent through Bilt. You don't even have to check with your landlord and to start earning points that you can use towards flights, hotels, stays, fitness classes, or even your next rent payment. So let me break it down for you. If you're a renter, I'd start taking advantage of Bilt if I were you. Here's the thing. We earn points on groceries, travel, practically everything else we buy, right? Airlines, stuff that I do. But we should also be earning points on rent. For some people, that's getting up there too.
Mm-hmm. That's most people's biggest expenditure.
It's probably your biggest expenditure. So you want to be earning points on that. And it's one of our biggest expenses. So Bilt has changed the game by letting renters earn high value points on rent around their neighborhood. With the seasons changing, I'm already dreaming of a warm weather getaway. I love you can use the points for travel, and obviously I'm always looking for new ways to earn more points when I'm booking my flight. So here's a life hack for you. Bilt lets you earn points on rent payments and redeem them towards flights, hotels, and a lot more. One of your biggest investments should get you more than just a roof over your head. So again, let me explain. There's no cost to join Bilt. As a member, you'll earn valuable points on rent and your everyday spending. Bilt can be transferred to your favorite hotels, airlines, even the ones you haven't heard of. There are over 500 airlines, 700,000 hotels and properties around the world you can redeem your Bilt points at. Points can also be redeemed towards future rent payments, unique experiences that only Bilt members can access. So when you're not earning points on rent, my question to you is, why not? Start earning points on rent you're already paying by going to joinbilt.com/boyscast. That is joinbilt.com/boyscast. Make sure to use the URL so they know we sent you. Joinbilt.com/boyscast and start earning points on your rent payments today. This is my theory. I said, okay. So I said, I was thinking about the difference between comedians, politicians, and commentators. And I said, probably the best comedians are often saying maybe you guys are wrong about this.
Yeah. I think I was thinking about this actually last night. I think comedians in the cultural, we're like referees.
Yeah, that's the theory that we were sort of saying, where it was you kind of if you see things go too far one way, you tell people no, you guys are wrong. I used to say, for example, if you were just this guy's the worst,
yeah,
and then if we're no, he's not the worst.
Yeah, he's not the worst.
But if he is the worst, then you're yeah, he's the worst.
Yeah,
he's the worst.
Yeah.
So you're but sometimes people will be this is the most egregious thing ever, and you might be well, here's some other things that are worse. Maybe it's not that.
Yeah.
You're kind of trying to get the you're trying to get the accurate, precise amount.
Calling balls and strikes.
It's calling a girl an 8, and you're just 7, 8. Like, you know, you're overshooting it a little.
Fucking out of hand.
And then if you're calling her a 9, then all of a sudden you're like, I feel like I need to weigh in on this. Be like, everyone's saying this girl's a 9.
I feel like I need to weigh her. I don't know. I feel like we need to get a scale and weigh her. I don't know about this 9 business. Maybe fucking 90 stone. I don't know. Get the scale out.
So I think that's the best comedians. You're kind of, just in a nutshell, my theory is.
Yeah.
So comedians is that. Commentators, probably the biggest commentators, I'm not saying the best, I'm saying kind of what the commentators' purpose they serve, is a lot of times giving you the rationale for what you already feel. And
they're homers.
Oh, that's fucking exactly what it is.
Yeah, they're the homers.
Yeah, they're homers.
They're like homer. They're like diehard fans.
But they also give you the rationale. So you're like, I love the Leafs. They're the best team. And then you're like, why? And then they're like, and then the commentator's like, this is why.
Right.
And then this is why the Habs suck.
Yes.
He tells you the information. He kind of like tells you the information and then in a way amplifies it. I think what people want from politicians is we take the message that you're saying and then actually implement it. And then we pave that with the blood of your enemies.
Ideally.
And then we ideally pave that with the blood of your enemies. So it's like there's a twofold. You're like, we're going to take the things you want and we're going to implement them. And along the way, we're going to take a few scalps and inflict pain on the people you don't like.
Sure.
That's kind of what it seems like politicians' goal is right now.
Yeah. And I mean, it felt like, you know, the last decade or so, like, again, like the people on the left just went so fucking far overboard that this is the reaction to that. You know, this is just like they could have just been kind of normal and none of this would be happening.
Well, sure.
They just couldn't do it. They just could not do it.
The question is what happened. Yeah, the question is what does the next like 8 years look like? That's the interesting question, right?
12 potentially. I mean, dude, if Trump lands this tariffs thing, man, which I read this paper the other day.
He loves threatening with tariffs, man.
Dude, so I read this paper, I was talking about this, but like, so I came across this paper that was written by this guy. His name's Stephen Mirren. He's Trump's head economic advisor. He put out this paper last year. This guy's like this big like economist dude or whatever, worked at this place called Hudson Bay Capital. He put out this paper. You know, everybody's essentially saying like Trump's like a wild card. Like he's just threatening this and just it's whatever he feels like in the moment.
Yeah.
This is literally like it's a 40-page roadmap of exactly what he's about to do.
Yeah, I thought he was. I don't. Yeah, I got.
But
in my
people
opinion,
keep saying they go like, oh, he's just like shooting at the hip.
Doesn't seem like it. Seems like kind of precise.
But that's what they're saying. Like that's what the pundits will go. You know, like with the Colombia thing, where Colombia wouldn't take the thing, and he goes like, we're slapping tariffs on them, like it just as a bargaining tool. Dude, he's about to slap tariffs on literally like probably not every country in the world, but like every country that has.
Well, he's 1 for 1. That one worked pretty good.
Yeah.
But he's like, we're sending it on the plane, and then they're just like, we're not taking your plane. He was just like, okay, you're not gonna be able to sell anything in America. And it was like, 50, right this way.
50% tariffs. But the thing is, I still think he might slap tariffs on that country. Like, yes, he's using it as a negotiating tool, but he's going to basically tariff like every country that has a major trade surplus because their whole goal is to weaken the US dollar because the US dollar is perpetually strong because they're the reserve currency of the world. So it's like it's impossible to weaken it essentially. And then all these other countries manipulate their currencies to keep their currencies weak so that their exports are more attractive.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's just like the hardest thing to do is to weaken the US dollar. But they have like a framework essentially where if they just go tariff every country, like he's saying with Canada, he's like, oh, we're tariffing you over fentanyl and your border. It's bullshit. They're doing this to weaken the US dollar. He's actually saying that just to give them just some reason.
Why does he want to weaken the US dollar?
Because it makes bring back manufacturing and makes American exports way more attractive worldwide.
Right.
And it'll help with like the national debt. Like, you know, he's talking about getting rid of income tax. Yeah. Like he essentially like wants to lower income tax. You're like, and he wants to do the External Revenue Service. Like if this works, it might not work. It might cause like insane worldwide like financial
But you think
volatility.
the goal of this whole thing is to weaken the American dollar to bring back America manufacturing
and like, yeah. And that is,
I mean, I remember when Canadian dollar was like hot 1-to-1, it was like no one could buy anything. Like Canadians couldn't sell their goods.
Of course. And I mean, dude, like my friend was just here for, you know, over the holidays, traveled here. And he's like, it's so expensive. Like for me to travel here, imagine it's 1-to-1.
Oh, all the people that were snowbirding in Phoenix from Canada, none of those guys want to come anymore.
Yeah, they're like, it's so expensive.
Yeah, because it used to cost me $2,000. Now it's costing me $3,000.
Right. So, anyways,
dude, I told you I just played in Edmonton. Woo!
Yeah.
Funny money, my friend.
I know. But anyways, that's
sold a lot of tickets. I literally sold out 4 shows. Walked out with a fucking sock full of quarters.
Fucking Trudeau bucks.
They did actually. Fucking a couple thumbtacks and quarters.
What is this, a washer? Are you paying me with washers now? But dude, that's the goal. Like, everybody thinks that this is like, he doesn't care about the fucking border. Like, the amount of fentanyl that comes from Canada is insignificant, but if they can do, like, back to the point where if he actually does this, because this is a somewhat theoretical exercise.
Yeah.
Like it's never really been done. He had the tariffs with China in 2018, 2019, which based on their model actually did do exactly what they expected, where essentially like all it does is hurt the other country, and then your currency drops enough where like even though they tariff you, it actually balances out. It's a net nothing happens essentially. But if he like, dude, he's tariffing Canada. People think they're going to talk their way out of it. They're not. Like, he's like, this is the plan. He's going to tariff fucking every country, try and like lower the income tax or remove it potentially. I don't know if they'll get it down that much, but all these people who think, oh, he's just crazy and he's negotiating, like, he's actually not negotiating. He actually just wants to do this to lower the dollar.
That's what you think.
I mean, you can read the paper. It's like, it's very...
What's the paper?
It's called, you can look it up. It's called Stephen Mirren. It's something about reordering global... I have the name of it right here. It's called Reordering Global Trade. Where is it? I have it right here.
And are you for this idea or against it?
It's called It's called.
Or do you think it's a high risk
a
plan?
user's guide to restructuring the global trading system by Stephen Mirren, Miran. It's like, dude, they lay this out. They go, this is what we're doing.
Then you think that like the Teals and the fucking the Elons and all those guys like that plan?
I don't know.
The tech overlords who are your boss now?
I don't know.
Gonna put a chip in your
But all
fucking...
I'll say is, if this works, because we were going
in
back
2026.
All I was saying is, if this works, like, then JD Vance is the president for eight years after that,
right?
For sure, unless Trump pulls an FDR thing and gets a third term or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll do that, but anyways, that's like the goal here is like he's gonna go and fucking crush financially like every other country. That's what they've laid out. Again, I don't know if it'll work. It might not work. Maybe it's, like you can apply it to one country. I don't know what happens.
And is the idea that
countries.
China has so much exports in America?
Yeah, and China basically like
is this all like kind of because of China?
No, it's not just because of China. It's every country that has like a big surplus with or just is a large trading partner. The main thing is because the US is the global reserve currency. So everybody has to hold US dollars, and because there's so much demand for US dollars, it's really hard to suppress.
No, I get that part. I'm just like us trying to figure out what problem they're trying to fix.
They're trying to fix bringing manufacturing back to America.
And is that
making manufacturing
I know
more
that you're saying that's a thing, but the why you have to explain to me why that's a problem. Is that a problem because America wants to be more self-sufficient?
The middle class has just been hollowed out in this country because manufacturing is left. So they're just going to strengthen America at the expense of every other country. And and the reason why they have all these like imbalanced tariffs for most countries in the world, like for example, with Europe, like Europe charges like 10% tariffs for all American-made cars, whereas America charges like a 1% tariff. So it's like it's not balanced, but they did that to basically rebuild Europe after like World War II, and like then further after like the Cold War, they just like basically gave these super sweet deals to everybody, and now he's just like, we're undoing them all.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's gonna be, dude. It could be.
It does feel like probably
insane.
I've been kind of saying this, but it feels like for a lot of my life, it was like, not that much has happened, not that much has happened, not that much has happened, 9/11, not that much has happened, not that much has happened, and then
there's decades where, what was it? There's decades where weeks happen, and there's weeks where decades happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like, you might be single.
The fourth turning,
and
right?
you have like 2 or 3 months without smashing anything, then there's one weekend
I
where you
know,
take
you're
down
just
one
like,
every night.
Yeah, it's the fourth turning.
What does that mean?
It's a book by
fucking Danny the Dictionary is fucking making me feel stupid on this podcast.
It's this guy Neil Howe. He wrote this book in like the 90s called The Fourth Turning. How I've talked about it before. How basically civilization goes through seasons, and there are these 80-year chunks.
I remember that.
Remember every 80 years, and they're set into like 4 seasons, and each 20 years, and where the fourth one is the one of the most chaos and like uncertainty and volatility. And he literally like predicted it in like the 90s that it would start basically around 2015-ish. And so we're halfway through it. It's basically started with Trump. You had coronavirus, like all this shit. And and we have 10 more years. And then once you come out of it, it's like spring essentially, and it's like, regrowth, and but those 20 years are like rough.
The reorders.
Basically reordering the whole thing.
Yeah, and it's a lot of, there's a lot of people that were rich that are not rich, and a lot of people that get rich. There's a lot of probably like money transferring hands. There's a lot of wealth transferring
Canada
around.
do you understand Canada right now is treating these tariffs like COVID essentially, like the way they're going to be like injecting money into the economy, like in like emergency measures.
Yeah.
With like their debt is so high already, and they're literally treating this like a crisis where they have to like COVID all over again.
And every
it's gonna fuck them over. Like it's gonna destroy the country.
And every country sort of having that.
They're gonna like again. America has always been in the position financially where they can do this. They don't because they're nice. And then now the asshole's in office, and he goes, "I'm doing it." Like
there also was probably the globalization sort of agenda too, right? Where it was like, well, yeah, we're not screwing these countries over because we're going to make them do all our bidding, which is, to create this.
Yeah. And I mean,
Alex Jones style, like
we
global,
them. Yeah. And we defend them.
World order.
Yeah. And then now they're like, we don't want to defend you anymore. Like, he's going to make everybody pay their fair share for like NATO. It's going to hurt them. They're going to get tariffs. Dude, it's going to be like, if they do go through with this, it'll be chaotic.
A lot happening.
We're 9 days in.
I told you, dude. But you see what I was saying, where it does feel like all of the just from like a PR standpoint, you do sort of, it requires to keep the sort of like will on your side in order to keep doing the big moves. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. I think this specific thing, like the restructuring the global trading system, will complete, like in 2 years from now, if everybody's really sour on the deportation stuff and they go like, that's like actually like inhumane, all that stuff, but everybody's way richer, he gets another 2 years. Like if everybody's look, that's fucked up, but I'm like so much richer now, there's like not really income tax anymore.
I know.
Then that's fine. They'll give him a pass. But if like inflation's way high in 2 years and that,
there's gonna be a lot of things happening simultaneously, man. Like AI, it's like, the amount of people that are going to be like, I guess I'm a prostitute now.
Yeah.
I have a job.
Hey, you have a fucking...
People are getting replaced already, right, left, center.
Yeah. I mean, dude, like, again, not to be too doomer on this shit, but...
So you're very, like, doomy on AI right now?
Yeah, we're fucked. Like... I mean, it's the worst people to get replaced because it's the people with the least actual tangible skills. It's like white collar paper pushers who are going to literally have no job to do. Like, it's not like they could go work with their hands. They don't know how. They have they know how to like code. You're like, great. Nobody needs that anymore. You're like, I can do accounting. You're like, this fucking robot does it in 1,000th of the time.
And better.
Yeah. Doesn't make any mistakes. Like, dude, like
no, and they don't ask to go home because they have a fucking wedding.
Yeah, they were exactly, dude. Contract law, like how many people are employing contract? They're like, that's done. Over.
I mean, in the course of my life, I've always a little bit thought I was getting scammed. I remember doing contracts with the band and paying some guy like $3,000 to fucking like make some contract that I feel like I was just like,
it's boilerplate. You're like, he just replaces the names.
I'm like, I know I'm being scammed, but I don't have the wherewithal to, to do it myself or not get scammed. But I know that I'm bent over.
Absolutely.
I know I'm fucking having a piece shoved. Dude, I remember even when we did the Ryan Longest challenge in Canada, just like having to do, it's $1,500 for this lawyer to do this and $1,500 for this guy, and you're just like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I
just remember they strapped me down, and I just have like different lawyers take turns on me with fucking rods in my ass.
Yeah, I mean, we had a CPA call into the bathhouse last night, and he's literally like, I am right now. I'm a CPA. I'm figuring out something else to do because like I see the writing on the wall. Like this is over. Like this shit is over, and it's gonna be over way faster.
There might be lots more things that you don't even know.
I don't think so. This is not like the printing press.
What do you mean? How about this? I hire a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Those jobs didn't exist 6 years ago. And if they did, very, very few of them.
I know, but the scale of this is way greater. Of the job losses. The scale of this.
Well, that's it. What do you mean? That's just one-to-one.
Yeah.
I just gave you one example of 1 million jobs that didn't exist before, which is whoever's, how many people are making a career out of online now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. take every one of those people, hires a couple people, everyone that's, making a decent amount of money. There's $1 million. That's just one thing I'm saying. So the amount of new jobs that might come, I mean, this is always the argument, but your argument is the amount of pain.
This isn't just my argument. This is a lot of like tech guys.
Right, but your argument is the amount of pain that's going to, and it's also Andrew Yang.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, Sam Altman, I listened to this podcast with Tim Ferriss and Chris Sacca, and they were essentially
Tim Ferriss, unlistenable for me.
Yeah, I know. But I listened to this one. It was the first one I listened to in a while. But
he had fucking Naval Ravikant on.
Yeah.
And I honestly think the band, so I always want to like listen to his thing. And he goes, I was like, oh, Tim Ferriss has Naval Ravikant on for 4 hours. He doesn't do that many interviews. I was like, okay, that might be cool. And he goes, 4 hours of talking to Naval Ravikant about parenting. And I was just like, make sure that he doesn't talk about anything that anyone might give a fuck about.
Tim Ferriss is like notorious dick slinger who will never settle down.
Yes, I know, but he needs his image to be like the good guy, I think. I think it's like
parenting.
He doesn't, dude. I remember he had Jordan Peterson on like a couple of years ago, and he did get like a fucking 2.5 hour. He had like a 30-minute podcast. He gave a 2.5 hour disclaimer about like how this guy's views.
Oh yeah.
I think he's just like circulating around these fucking like liberal circles and smashing tons of punani. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want his punani to be interrupted by his controversial guests.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just like, I owe the fucking audience a podcast right now.
I think so, and I think that he's really afraid that his punani's going to be you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That he's going to have some of his.
It's going to interfere with it.
He's going to have the sniz. The sniz is going to be affected if he gets in any sort of controversy that's anti-sniz, But he also knows that his audience is mostly men, so he doesn't want to seem like a total cock.
Right.
So he's trying to. I think that he's sort of playing that line of like. I need to keep the sniz taps on, but I also need to do an episode.
Yeah.
Not for me.
No. Anyways, this one was okay, but yeah, the AI stuff is. I hope I'm wrong, but a lot of people much smarter than mine are very much in the like camp of we're gonna have to like restructure the social contract kind of deal.
Oh man, the moral of the story is which is
stay off the internet and you don't have to know about any of this
stuff.
Sure.
I mean, this is what I brought up in the first place though, but I was just like, when I was kind of listening to the AI conversations about deepfake, and I was just like, I'm like, dude, I do a podcast about current events. I think about like stuff that's happening in the world nonstop. I'm friends with like so much people in my orbit, like tech guys.
Yep.
I pay attention to those worlds. I follow a lot of tech blogs and podcasts, and I'm fairly financially literate.
Sure.
I have a math degree essentially, and I'm just like, huh?
I know. Way out of our pay grade.
Huh? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I go, I'm not saying I'm the smartest in the world, but I'm saying that like, if I'm the threshold, well, it's got to be, most people don't know what the hell is going on.
No. I mean, yeah, I was reading about the Deepseek thing, and I'm like, I barely understand it. But
all I read is I'm like, I think I speak Chinese now. Am I Chinese now? Am I Chinese now? That's why I'm looking at this thing. I go, I think I'm Chinese. I don't really know.
Seems like a lot of the AI people are very spooked about this thing.
He goes, you don't realize the algorithmic parametric token and blah blah. And I'm like, oh no, the algorithmic parametric token, is that good or bad? Are we? And you're like, no, we like the algorithmic parametric token. I go, okay. I swear to God.
Yikes.
Someone might as well be giving me a recipe for fucking his.
I know.
How to make fucking Lau Mein from scratch in Chinese.
But dude, like, just not to go too much more on the AI thing, but it's like, we were talking, 5-6 years ago about, all these people who have these dumbass, like, Bachelor of fucking Sociology degrees.
Uh-huh.
Now it's people who are like, yeah, I'm a lawyer. And you're like, yeah, that's useless now too.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not even like this dumbass, like, liberal arts.
Some people listening to the podcast didn't realize, but Danny tried to say Jews most affected.
I mean, Jews will be affected. Everybody's gonna be affected, except for fucking electricians, man. My one buddy who we went to economics with, who just randomly in 2008
ran your buddy at the airport.
Which one?
Fuck. What guy did we go to school with? Friends with Emily and Nadia and those people.
80? No.
Give me some last names.
Nyman?
Last names.
That's his last name.
First names then.
Adrian?
Yeah, I don't know. No.
Guy was the food guy?
Nah, I don't know. Whatever. I forget his name. He has like a name like Cooper or Coker or Hopper or something like that. Talked to him for like 5 minutes though.
Oh, okay.
He didn't realize me and you weren't friends in the university.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Good guy though.
I wonder who it is. I lost my train of thought here. Oh yeah. Anyways, my buddy
didn't come to your wedding.
Didn't come to. But he was invited.
I don't think he was.
I have no clue. Anyways, in 2010.
I knew as I was bringing it up, and I was just like, shouldn't have done this. As the words were coming out of my mouth,
I mean, there's like
was
three
not a
people
conversation for the podcast.
At the airport. No, because the thing is,
you have 3 friends. It's like,
I assume that I would have received a text from that person being like, I saw Ryan at the airport if it was one of my
It's a guy you're buddies with. He knew your buddy that came to the fish with us, too.
What? I have no clue.
Honestly, just forget it, Danny.
This is not going to be good.
One of your 3...
This is not going to be good fucking podcasting for me to decipher who this is.
I told you, as soon as it started coming to my mouth, I knew it was bad podcasting. Yeah. So AI, we're done. And you know what?
Fucked.
This is where some people are at. Brian, what's the guy's name? Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson is fucking goat, dude. Have you seen what this guy posts? It's
insane.
Like, he goes, I saw him post today. He goes, just a little bit of a update. So I've stopped injecting my son's blood, and I figured out how to make I figured out how to make a concoction where I remove the plasma from my blood, and I keep the plasma in this bag.
So yellow bag.
And he's holding up this big bag of. You did see that? Yeah, he's holding up this big bag of plasma, and he goes, okay. So he released. He spends $2 million a year to live forever, and everyone knows this Brian Johnson guy. He's very. Yeah. He says he's got the best metrics for his age and ever of anyone. But then he posts this video of all his dad. He's got his son in on the racket, right? And his son's out there, like, you know, he's got his son.
Blood boy. He's got his blood boy.
He's drinking his son's
ex-blood boy.
Yeah, he basically every single morning he straps his son down, fucking sticks a straw in him, and then sucks out the adrenochrome out of this guy's ass. Yeah, his son's in like a tomb, and he fucking has him like tied up.
He startles him to get that good adrenochrome. He goes, that's a good shoe.
Every morning he comes in with a scream mask in his room to wake him up. But then he posted, Biohacker posted on Twitter, he shared his data of him and his son to say, look, I'm doing better. And he shared the erection data from him and his son. Yeah. Accompanying the data, Johnson wrote nighttime erection data for my 19-year-old son and me. His duration is 2 minutes longer than mine. Raise children to stand tall, be firm and upright. So, I mean, your dad did this. He didn't post it online at least.
That's the next level of competitiveness. You know, it's not exactly about like, you know, playing one-on-one basketball in the fucking driveway anymore. It's just about who's got the better boners.
I mean, listen, everyone's dad checks their boners when they're growing up, but he doesn't post it online.
Yeah, I didn't know Aura had a cock ring.
It's so crazy. Yeah, he's every single morning he's checking his son's cock ring. He goes, "What the fuck's this?"
Yeah. It's like I'm disappointed in you, son. It's like getting your report card back, but it's every day.
The data includes the pair's sleep efficiency, erection quality, number of erection episodes, and total duration. Kid's like, Dad, can we just go fishing? He's like, put your fucking...
I want your boner data. Now.
I'm telling you.
Do you want your blood or not?
Yeah, do you want your serving of blood today?
No blood until you get me your boner data.
Yeah, the dad's coming in. He's like, this is barely a rager. What the fuck is this? You call yourself a Johnson?
Flicks it. He goes, soft as shit.
Son, we're Johnsons.
We're Johnsons. In the Johnson household, we don't have limp dicks, okay?
Yeah. What the fuck is this limp dick bullshit?
Crazy. I mean, I know that...
He probably brings a girl over for dinner, and she was like, all right, you guys going back to the room? Yeah, you'll have fun. He's at like an 8-5 today.
This guy's been rock hard since noon.
Yeah, you're gonna really enjoy it tonight. You want to see the data? He's been crushing it. So
yeah, I'd maybe stretch yourself out a little before.
I'd love you to meet my son. I feel like you guys would be good. You're like, what's he like? Well, it's like he has about 3 boners a day and pretty good. He's actually sitting at like a 9.4 out of 10 parametric data in the boner.
Crazy. I mean, I know that the boners are good. Nighttime boners are a good indication of health, but
obviously, I tell you what, when I'm really tired and like not sleeping, and the biggest thing that messes me up is I've been going, I'm on a lot of stuff since our Merrick Health episode, so I'm doing okay with that. However, the time zones, the not sleeping and stuff like that, killer, man. Whenever I do find that is when I find I got the weakest fucking ragers in the morning.
Yeah, no nighttime bones.
It is a good indication. If you're waking up and you never have boners, that is your body's quit.
Yeah.
Your body's like, you're on your own, pal.
I know. That is such a weird thing that your body just decides to do. Just to
give you one?
Just to let you know that you're healthy is just a bunch of fucking boners at night.
Yeah, it is sort of. Your body's just like, one for you.
We're doing good. Things are going good.
It is probably the number one indicator. You wake up and you got fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Just a little piece of, you go to take a piss and you're like, what are we doing? And your body's like, well, if you fucking let us sleep,
Yeah, sure.
if you had to have those drinks last night.
Cortisol wasn't so high, then I could give you all these fucking morning boners.
I'd love to give you one, yeah.
I mean, sorry.
But that's crazy doing the father-son boner
I know, and
check.
the thing is, a 19-year-old has no reason to track their boners. Like, he just needs it as his benchmark.
He needs it as a
wants to be
bench-
19.
yes.
And he can't go ask a random 19-year-old, like, hey, can I track your boners?
And by the way,
For science.
you think didn't start at 19.
No.
He's been tracking these boners for a long time.
Yeah, he's probably like, fuck, I need to find like a 12-year-old because that's my ideal
He
age.
for sure is thinking that,
trying to
but he can't be posting online, I need a 12-year-old for boner data.
He's just hanging outside the maternity ward and new mothers come out. He goes, I'll give you $500,000 if I could track your baby's boners. You're like, what? He goes, I want to be a baby.
No, you don't understand. I'm biohacking.
I'm biohacking. No. I'm not some freak.
No.
Anyways, do you have any extra blood?
I don't think.
Hey, what'd you do with your placenta? You didn't just throw it out, did you?
Because I have this pizza I want to put it on.
They get a carbonara later. There's a little extra placenta.
You walk into this guy's house. He's just like got 14-year-olds strung up there, and he's got like them strapped up nude to the boners attached to his helmet. And he goes, "No. Oh my God, Chris Hansen, this has been a very big misunderstanding."
I'll tell you what, Brian Johnson could never go for a vacation to Southeast Asia ever. Like the questions that would arise from that shit, from him going to like probably any third world country.
Yeah.
Like you're like, dude, you're traveling.
You're definitely trying to get boner data.
Yeah, you're like, you get London, Paris, and maybe Spain.
Yeah, I'm just going to Thailand. Sure you are.
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing in Thailand, man? Hell no. He shows up at customs. They're like, no.
No, thank you, buddy. We've seen your boner business online.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, so he's tracking kids' boners. It is definitely Chris Hansen's going to show up, and he's just going to be like, what don't you guys understand? I'm biohacking.
Yeah, he's like, Chris Hansen's like, have a seat. He's like, I actually prefer to stand. It's better.
Okay, did you say... Yeah.
He's like, I don't know if you know this, but sitting is actually the new smoking. So I'll stand while you confront me.
Did you say, and quote unquote, I'd love to see your boner. How hard is it? You are what? Oh my God. It's like you got
biohacking, Chris Hansen. What are your boners like? Why do you care about my boner?
And then you said, how old are you? He said 13, and you said, that'll do just fine.
Little old, but that'll do just fine.
Oh my God.
I mean, I don't wish death on anybody, but it would actually be a relief if Brian Johnson died, because then you're just like, nothing matters.
You can't do it.
It's all genetics. Just live your life. I don't want him to die, but it would just be one of those things where it would make everybody feel so much better if he did die, if he just had a heart attack and just didn't die, because then you just feel like, okay, it's pure genetics. You can maybe do a little bit, but you can't do this wacky shit.
I know.
But then if he lives to 120,
the son's on board for this stuff, by the way, because he got his son all on board. I mean, the son's probably making money on it too.
I mean, he started some big tech companies.
Yeah. Biohacker also had much better sleep efficiency, but had one less erection episode compared to Talmage. So son had more direction.
Oh, that son's
Fucking
arms
chump.
fucking sore. Hey, one less erection, huh? The old man still got it.
He's definitely getting punched.
Oh yeah, his arms just fucking bruised up.
A fucking chump. Little debate from the Patreon that someone said, dude, I hate to say it, but cans refer to ass and legs, not tits. I kept quiet for as long as I could. I disagree.
False.
Yeah.
What
do you think the can is? Are they shaking their tits?
I don't think it's I mean, unless it's a Canadian thing, but I don't think so.
Cans
are not.
Johnny, what do you think?
I always heard ass.
You think cans
are ass?
Well, I mean, you could say I'm kicking you in the can. That's kicking you in the ass. But a set of cans is tits.
Yeah.
I think it's both.
No, this is malarkey.
Well, no, but you go, fucking get your can in there. I think that's like, people saying your ass. But I also think it's tits.
I mean, here, Wiktionary, what do cans mean in slang? Plural of can, breasts.
Bam. Yeah, take that. I think it can also mean ass, but it also means tits.
Yeah.
I think it's
Also means mouth, if I'm being honest. Shut your can.
Shut your can. That I've never heard.
You'd know what I meant if I said it.
We're reaching here, but no, cans is tits. It's crazy.
Yeah, so this guy said he kept quiet for as long as he could. But
you know what?
incorrect.
You can continue keeping quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking peanut gallery over
At
here.
the very least, it also means ass.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. But I mean, everybody you hear set of cans. It's nice cans.
Crappy Lily Phillips, who we don't love on this podcast.
No.
Teen busted by mom waiting in line to have sex with the porn star Bonnie Blue. Put your clothes on. So it was the other one. And they said they stole each other's ideas, which is fucking hilarious. Like they think they're like comedians.
Well, one of them did 1,000, one of them did 100.
Yeah.
So.
But the teen was busted. So basically this like she does these open calls to come fucking bang her.
Yeah.
And the son was in line and the mom found out and then the mom showed up. Like probably that'd be the most embarrassing thing of all time.
He's just wearing the Timbs. He just has the Timbs on. His mom shows up.
He just has an American flag do-rag and the Timberland boots. Mom,
I want to bang Lily Phillips.
A rate mother ordered her son to have to leave a long line of men. That I'll tell you who did like it. Guy behind him.
Oh yeah.
Move up one spot.
Well, depends how late in line. The guy might have been like, you might have been disappointed too.
Oh, he was there for that.
I mean, if you're real deep, you might want to.
You want
last.
that?
They go, hey, you want to go fourth or last? He goes,
yeah. You go ahead.
I got a fucking python on me, so you know.
You go ahead.
Work in first.
Put your clothes on. Otherwise, I'll get the police to come after you. She raged in a viral video. Put on your clothes now and come out. Come out of here now. Several men tried to calm the mother down and get her to keep quiet.
Yeah, because they were worried that their moms were going to show up.
They all stepped. They all stayed in front. They go, the boy stays.
Yeah, he stays. He's soon to become a man. Come pick him up once he's a man.
You gotta be so fucking. Yeah. I'll tell you who probably didn't love that they were in the viral video. Everyone else was in the line.
I know.
She's like, can we turn that camera off?
Yeah, go, hey. Oh, I mean, I guess the whole thing's filmed though, so I guess that's part of the deal.
Yeah, you have to be on it. Yeah,
I mean, there were a bunch of dudes in like balaclavas and shit.
Yeah, balaclavas.
Probably the move, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, shit, man.
I've always been fucked because of all the tattoos I have.
Yeah, that's why you don't want to be guy number 1,000.
No, I'm not even saying that. I'm just like in general.
Yeah.
I could never, like your average guy could have a video leak of him just like fucking
like
basically
plausible deniability.
Yeah, just be like, that's not me.
Yeah,
like it's like I'm not really able to be willy nilly with all the videos and stuff like that. Just be like you can't just be super haphazard with videos of you.
True.
Because it's obviously me.
Obviously you. Yeah.
They identify you, yeah.
I mean,
I marked myself.
I mean, it's sad that there's men who are so desperate for a little tang.
I'm 19. I can do what I want.
Mom, I'm a man. I can do what I want. She goes, you live at home.
This is crazy.
You're unemployed and you live at home.
This is the world we're living in here. Folks!
I hope not.
Folks, this is the world that we are currently living in. You know, you're losing your job. The only way for men to have sex is to line up in your bread lines, your Smith's bread lines. This is what they want you.
Communism.
They want you eating bugs, lining up in front of 1,000 people where your mom says, "Come home, please," and you say, "I need my mandatory government sneeze."
It's only going to be 30 seconds. Just wait. I only have 30 seconds anyways.
Mom!
You're embarrassing me.
And she's hitting them with, she's like an old Italian mom hitting them with like a broom.
I think she was like Jamaican or something. It was really not fucking taking into this nonsense.
Why you doing? Yeah,
it was. She was like very much like
Jamaican mom's hilarious.
She's like, I didn't fucking like immigrate to England for you to be guy number 979. Embarrassing.
What you doing there, boy? Bomba clat. I raise a little CC man.
Yeah.
That Fifi boy. Big guy number 887.
Yeah, basically you're gay.
Oh Lord!
For a Jamaican family,
she definitely said, "Oh Lord."
Oh, but if you're a Jamaican family, like that, if you're a guy, like you're deep in that line, like you are just essentially having sex with a man at that point.
Oh, batty boy!
He goes, it's a woman. He goes,
boom, boom, at the batty boy. You remember Bougie Banton?
Yeah. Is he still incarcerated?
I think he's still incarcerated. It's funny. It's like he had like 3 big smash hits about just like killing gay guys. Wild.
The good old days. You could still do that kind of stuff.
That batty boy.
You think Lily Phillips like OnlyFans like popped off because of this? Like, you think she like?
Oh yeah.
Like, you think like there's a lot of demand to see her get plowed by 1,000 dudes?
Yeah, are you asking that question? Yes, she made tons of cash.
But I'm saying like from specifically this.
I don't know her financial breakdowns, but yes, she made money off of this stupid publicity stunt. Everyone's talking about it, including us.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I avoided talking about it. It just got so big we had no choice. I avoided it for weeks.
anybody on this
Please
podcast
don't.
from subscribing to her, from financially rewarding her for this kind of stuff.
And definitely don't look at the
Forbid
camera and
you.
say boys when you're doing your
No.
prompts.
Doing it for the boys. Don't do that.
Don't say boys when you're guy number 997.
Please
Please,
do not. Yeah, we don't need
don't
that
bring us into this.
We don't need that smoke.
Do not bring me into this.
We're disowning you.
And then lastly, newly proposed masturbation bill will make masturbation illegal unless it's intended to make a baby. And obviously, this is like a publicity stunt as well. So it's this governor, not a governor, it's a...
Mississippi. I think it was Mississippi or Alabama.
They said they're trying to put it was Mississippi. They're trying to put a fine. I can't remember the person who did it. It's
he's like a
black
counselor
guy.
or something.
A counselor, something like that. And he's doing it as a publicity stunt. But it's making me laugh. The reason I even brought it up is because I've been doing this joke where I've been kind of saying, I've been talking about abortion. I'm saying I'm torn on abortion because I'm pro-abortion, but I'm also pro taking women's rights away.
Yeah.
But I've talked about it a little on here. But one of the things I've been saying is that men know a little bit what it's like to have something that it's inside our body and and we're trying to get rid of it, and the government's made a lot of rules about when we can get rid of it. It's sperm. Like if Danny wanted to get rid of something right now, it would probably be a problem. You know what I mean?
Sure.
The government makes lots of rules. If you pay someone to get rid of it, that's a problem.
Yeah.
They make all these rules, and that's why and girls will tell us what to do. They go, "Don't come." I go, "My body, my choice," and I choose now
immediately.
and I choose immediately upon insertion.
Sure.
But then it's more men making rules on when and when we cannot. But this guy's just trying to make some point.
Yeah, some point where he goes like, he
goes,
good luck enforcing that one.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
Good luck enforcing fucking dudes cranking it.
Yeah, it doesn't even make any
What,
sense.
next
You're
you're
like,
gonna
okay,
not-
it's illegal for women to masturbate too then. That's actually
What's the new law? You can't track your son's boners now?
now all of a sudden, what world are we living in?
Is that the new law? It's getting kind of intrusive here.
Your money's getting tariffed down. Prices are going
Not
up.
America.
Your job is done.
Yep.
And
this is the doom.
you're biohacking.
Yeah, you can't fucking, everything's bad.
I don't know. I don't
Can't
feel
crank
it.
anymore.
I feel like as much as it's insane, I feel like my instinct is it's going to be like somewhat of a period of prosperity. I don't feel as
10
doomer
years
as
from
you.
now.
So you think it's going to be a rough patch to get there?
Oh yeah.
I don't feel as doomery as you,
All right. Well, I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong.
but I don't have really the evidence to back it up. I just feel like, I don't know, I'm talking to, it seems like a lot of smart people are involved,
Yeah.
It seems like,
The smart rich
Seems
people
like the
will be
pri-
fine.
well, it seems like the priorities of, when you're talking about lowering income tax and
Yeah, that's the thing. America.
when you're talking about actually trying to figure out how to service this debt because it's getting to be an incontrollable situation. You know what I was thinking of? If you want to talk
think
about
Lily Phillips could do a giant gangbang to service the debt.
you just service it.
Every man, she services the men to service the debt. Not the worst idea.
Well, I was thinking, and this is sort of like my calorie idea is I actually think that's more enforceable, and it probably is a decent idea.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you don't make any changes. You're just like, if this is a meal that's going to fucking kill you, like, you just let them know.
Actually, speaking of calories, this is if I get accepted to the White House press thing, one of my first questions is going to be about shrinkflation.
What are you going to say?
I don't know if you've noticed. I don't know if you ever get a snack here and there.
I'm listening.
But the prices either remain the same or gone up, but the calorie count has actually gone down, which I predicted on this podcast literally like
You've been talking about
4
shrinkflation.
years.
You've been
4
talking about
years ago.
shrinkflation ever since you hung out with Brian Johnson and checked your first boner.
I said this 4 years ago this would happen, but if you look at everything now, it's the price has either gone up or remain the same, but the amount.
And he's not
Everything.
lying. I watched Danny buy a bag of chips at the grocery store the other day, and he took the bag of chips, he put it up to his ear, and he goes, 87. It used to be 89.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy though. It's actually like, which I said actually would be a net benefit in the sense that.
Excuse me, can I speak to the manager? Because last time I bought this bag of ketchup chips, bad all-dressed chips.
I wish that I don't have either of those.
Wow.
Ryan was in Edmonton this
For 2
weekend.
days.
Well, I know what Ryan was snacking on. Sorry, RFK Jr. Ryan was a bad boy in Edmonton.
Maybe I'll catch some ketchups in Vancouver where we're coming to.
Yeah, what kind of fucking dye do they use for ketchup chips, Ryan?
Danny Polchuk.
Red dye number 40 by chance?
Excuse me, I'd like to speak to the manager. You made a bad boy. This sleeve of Oreos that I've purchased used to have 11 Oreos. Now it has 7.5.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I remember because I'm a big boy, so I have to keep track of this stuff. And
If you want to give me another Oreo or two, we can call it
dude,
even.
bags of chips.
If not, you'll be speaking to my attorney.
Dude, bags of chips used to be like 450 calories. Now they're only 370 calories. Yeah.
They do feel smaller.
They are smaller.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was getting fucking bigger.
No,
Chips
but I
were getting smaller.
actually do
had a
think
bag. You have a bag of chips, and I'm like, fuck, I'm so jacked. This feels like a bag of chips for ants.
Yeah. But the thing is that I actually do think it's a good thing in a weird way that they make the calorie count lower.
Okay.
Because, normally you just buy one bag of
You're
chips.
saying shrinkflation's doing RFK's bidding.
Kind of.
Yeah, a little bit.
In one way, but then they should lower the price. I know they can't because obviously inflation went up, but...
I know.
Anyways, that's my first question for Karen Leavitt or whatever, press secretary.
Well,
from a man of the people.
Anyways, yeah, whatever. I don't care about that guy's thing. You know what? I'm going to mention one thing is that I think because last time we were talking about there's like people that are kind of like schizophrenic, losing their minds, and like tagging me. And then I think a lot of people were commenting, being like, "Oh, is that me?" Blah blah. And I was, like there was kind of like people were joking.
Yeah.
Like a couple of people sent me some messages, and I know they were joking, but I'm like, I don't think people, like, even when I've said, like, I've mentioned that there's, like, crazy people that talk to me, and you're like, 99% of people are very normal, and you're happy to talk to them.
Yeah, you have
and most
no
people are,
clue.
especially BOYSCAST fans, like, 90% of the people are, like, pretty funny and cool.
Yeah,
Like, when I meet at
absolutely.
shows, you're like, I think that we might not have, and I think we were intentionally vague with the details to not put someone specific
We're
on
talking
blast.
about, like, hundreds of
I don't think
messages
people
a week.
realize how crazy we're talking about.
Hundreds and hundreds of messages per week.
And then also we talked
all
about,
unread.
But we also talked about some people that like made a living about being a professional reply guy for Elon Musk and stuff.
Yeah.
We're talking about a guy that literally every single tweet, 85 tweets a day is like, you get him, Elon.
Yeah.
Like we're not like the scale that we're talking about. These crazy people is insane
because they DM us like once every 6 months, being like
a normal
with
person,
a sketch idea, or like your podcast is
or
funny.
comment on something.
Yeah,
like,
that's not you.
Yeah, we're talking about like you don't understand the level
No,
that
you cannot.
And that's where I was saying, I was like, I don't think people realize it's gone up the amount of people that you're like, oh, this guy has lost his mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Like picture your craziest friend from high school that you still see on Facebook, and you're like, oh, guy belongs in an asylum.
Yes.
Wonder what his erection data looks like. Patreon.com/TheBoysCast.
Sign
New
it up.
episode every week. You already know what it is.
Inflation proof.
Inflation, well, it is inflation proof as of now because it's been $5 for 4 years.
I know. That's like literally do the podcast.
I know it has gone down. Like the purchasing power of what we charge has gone down by $1.
time.
But I mean, I don't know.
More
At
than
some
that,
point,
probably.
maybe it'll change it. I don't know. But like, we'll probably just follow the trends. Like, but you're right. We haven't
but maybe
changed it.
we'll lock in everybody who's
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
maybe the price does go up at some point.
Maybe
but if you
lock
sign
them
up
in.
today,
that's true. But you're right. The price has technically gone down 7% a year.
yeah, at least.
He's like, I've noticed.
It's basically fucking sign up for the Patreon. $2.
We need a
$2 in fucking 2019.
We need a 7% increase just to break even.
Yeah, but we won't do that to you.
All right. See you on the other side. Peace.
Later.